On the battlefield, dominate your competition with the infrared beam. And if that's not enough, experience real rapid-fire action with the Gel Bead Blaster. With the included interactive curriculum, anyone can learn how to code, teach it to move, recognize shapes, and a whole lot more.
안녕하세요. The Lion,
The Tiger,
장민철입니다.
크리템입니다.
KT 롤스터. 이 팀은 팀명에 비해서 2019 시즌은 굉장히 아쉬운 시즌 보냈었거든요.
그러니까요. 아예 전면 개편됐어요, 따지고 보면.
다 갈아엎었거든요.
그러니까 뉴 KT 롤스터.
리모델링 한 거죠. 어떻게 보면은
그렇지.
식당이 잘 되다가
근데 먹을 게 좋아 원래 그 비유가.
그러니까 약간 그런 거죠. 영업정지 당한 거?
다 최고급으로 했는데
네.
그냥 손님이 없었어.
그러니까 손님이 없었어. 이게
네.
막상 열어보고 나니까.
그러니까.
그래서 셰프들도 갈고 그 다음에 재료들도 싹 갈았거든요.
그 셰프 사단이지.
네, 셰프
약간.
사단.
원래 그 유명 셰프들은 실제로 그 사단이 다 있다면서.
맞아요. 강동훈 사단이 오고 또 재밌는 거는 강동훈 사단에서 주로 썼던 식재료들이 함께 왔거든요. 네.
아니 원래 셰프마다 선호하는
그렇죠.
요리들은 있을
네.
테니까 스타일이나.
재료들이 이제 쿠로,
네.
투신 식재료가 선수가 이제 함께 오면서 얼마나 그 실력을 다시 한번 만개할 것인가가 굉장히 중요하다고 생각이 들어요.
일단 여기 요리 전문가랑 그 동물 전문가에서 하나씩 비교를 해야 돼?
그렇죠.
네.
상처 입은 사람들이 모였다고 생각이 들어가지고
오
네.
그렇네.
어디서든 조금씩 상처를 입고 재기를 누리는 다시
오.
한번 뛰어오르게 그 재규어, 그 까만색 재규어 있잖아요. 우리가 진짜 막 보여주겠다. 약간 절치부심한 느낌이기 때문에 저는 블랙 재규어.
블랙 제규.
블랙 재규어.
약간 느낌 있네요. 확실히.
네.
강해 보이는데?
KT 로스터 키플레이어도 알아봐야죠. 프로. 한때는 세체미 대결, 정상 대결을 펼쳤던 선수기도 하고 LPL에서도 실제로 이제 팀 성적이 매우 좋은 편은 아니었지만
되게
그
든든해요.
안에서도 프로는 항상 든든했다. 국밥 같은 미드라이너가
맞아요.
네, KT 로스터에서 얼마나 미드를 잘 지켜주면서 상대적으로 좀 약세로 분류될 수 있는 탑 케어 얼마나 해줄 수 있을지, 그리고 신인 정글러라고 봐야 되거든요. 사실 보노랑 말랑도 어느 정도 아직까지는 얼마나 잘 케어를 하면서 움직여줄지가 중요하다고 생각이 들어서 프로 선수로 하겠습니다.
저는 그러면 약간 좀 선수들이 조금 밋밋해 보이는 것도 있거든요. 되게
네.
센데 좀 밋밋하다. 뭔가 엄청난 폭발력이 좀 나올 것 같진 않은 부분을 에이밍 투신 바텀 쪽, 에이밍 쪽에서 채워줬으면 좋겠어요. 에이밍이 지난 시즌도 보면 약간 느낌이 좀 보였거든요.
맞아.
그러니까 막 온몸에 막 펴져오면서 막 그냥 데미지 막 뿜어내는 그런 느낌이었단 말이에요. 리를 데프트 이런 느낌도 있었고.
리를 데프트.
예, 그런 느낌 좀 있었어요. 좀 흡사한 느낌이 있었다.
그러면 리를 데프트면 진짜 데프트라 했던 투신이 또 왔으니까 네.
성향은 비슷한 거 같아요.
그렇죠. 성향도 비슷하고 그러면
되게 화끈하다는 거죠.
괜찮죠. 투신 입장에서도 비슷한 성향의 선수랑 하는 게 편할 테니까. 그럼 에이밍?
괜찮은 것 같아요.
KT 로스터 예상 성적.
8강 통과할 만하지 않을까 싶어요.
네, 저도 2라운드는 가는데 상대가 누구냐에 따라서
그때부터는 이제
그렇죠. 위에서 다른 맹수들이 넷이 기다리고 있잖아요.
그러니까 제규어가 사실 되게 밸런스가 꽤 좋은 걸로 알고 있거든요.
맞아요.
딱 봐도 그렇잖아요. 전체적인 밸런스가 꽤 좋은데 그렇게 엄청 또 큰 밸런스는 아니거든요. 또 우리 같은
네.
사자고랑이랑 비교하면
그러니까 상위권 포식자가 아니죠.
그러니까 우리는 그냥 뭐 근데 하여튼 그만큼 한이 절여 있다.
그렇죠.
그리고 막 달려든다 그냥.
빼지 않아. 한화생명 e스포츠거든요. 이 팀은 손대영 감독이 네, 손대영 셰프가 들어오면서 약간 맛집으로 소문 날 수 있는데 사실 셰프가 잘 되지 재료가 중요하잖아요.
그리고 뭐 서브 막 보조 막 이런 분들 다 중요하고
보조 셰프도 원래 다
네.
중요하고
맞아요.
송노철 코치가 들어오면서 이 집이 요리사는 괜찮다 지금. 요리사 쪽으로는 평이 좋은데 재료가 약간 오래된 재료가 아니냐는 이런 이야기들이 있거든요.
조금 맛이 덜 나올 수 있다 지금. 철은 아니다.
그렇죠. 근데 재료들 중에서도 오래 묵히면 묵힐수록 맛있는 재료도 있거든요.
김치처럼
김치,
발효되는
삭혀 먹는
요구르트.
요구르트라든지.
근데 맞나?
아, 맞죠? 발효시키는 거니까 치즈 뭐 이런 거. 타로랑 템트 라바라는 재료가 과연 얼마만큼 맛을 낼 수 있느냐. 리엔즈라는 재료는 약간 캐비어 같은 느낌이죠. 캐비어만 먹으면은 사실 이게 무슨 맛이야? 이게 왜 비싸지? 이런 느낌을 받을 수 있는 식재료이기 때문에 과연 최상급 식재료인 리엔즈와 함께 큐베, 하루, 템트, 라바라는 재료가 좀 어떻게 잘 어울려질 수 있을지 그게 제일 재밌을 것 같아요.
동물로 쳐도
네.
약간 그런 느낌. 이게 확실히 장점은 있거든요. 말씀하신 코치진과 그다음에
그렇죠.
BNG 완전 뭔가 약간 최상급 느낌. 그래서 동물로 치면은 약간 근데 치타 같은 느낌.
치타.
달리기는 빠르다.
근데 또 빨리 지치잖아요.
그리고 밸런스도 좀 무너져 있고. 우리 같은 이제 또 맹수 만나면 우리랑 뭐 싸움이 되는 건 아니잖아.
그렇죠. 도망가야 되는 그런 상황이.
그러니까 달리기는 빠르다. 근데 달리기만 빠를 수
달리기만
있다.
빠를 수 있고.
네. 그러니까 뭔가 장점은 일단 확실하니까.
이게 빨리 달리지만 빨리 지친다는 얘기는 100m 달리기에서 1등 할 수 있잖아요. 판만 좀 잘 짜이면 괜찮은 팀이 될 수 있다고 생각이 들고, 그러면 키플레이어 한번 또 얘기해볼까요? 하나님이요? 뭐 이거는
사실 둘 다 뭐
이견이 없을 것 같은데 리엔즈 캐비어 네.
아니면은 진짜 이번에 올해 약간 묵힌 재료 중에
누군지
템트 선수가
네.
아직 제대로 증명했던 적은 없거든요. 근데 맨날 나오는 얘기 있거든.
라인전 노릇
뭔가 든든하다, 뭔가 묵직하다.
묵직하다.
근데 항상 거기서 못 올라가잖아.
템트? 그러면 템트와 리엔즈, 캐비어와 김치의 활약을 저희가 기대를 해보도록 하겠습니다.
맛있을 것 같은데.
맛있을 것 같은데? 같이 싸먹으면? 그래서 순위 한화생명 e스포츠의 전통적인 순위가 있거든요.
그 되게 하나 팬분들 되게 싫어한다고.
되게 싫어요?
네.
어쩌겠어요 사실인데.
맞아. 사실 저희 얘기가 지금 전체적으로 좀 불편할 수 있어요. 전체적으로 다
아니, 뭐,
모든 팀들에 대해서.
그러니까. 근데 사실이잖아요.
맞아요. 저희가 최대한 약간 사냥감에 바르고 있잖아요.
맞아요. 여 팀도 8강.
그러니까 뭔가 하나생명이 항상 벽에 못 넘잖아. 그런 느낌.
네.
막 어떤 그 선을 넘어야 되는데.
근데 이번에는 그래도 레스토랑인데 셰프도 새로 영입했고 식재료도 막 사왔어요. 그러니까 게시잖아. 어떻게 보면 캐스파컵이 레스토랑 게시인데
개라고 하죠.
근데 과연 네, 오픈바를 얼마나 잘 받을 수 있을지 네, 그거를 좀 기대를 해봐야 될 것 같습니다.
근데 저도 현실적으로 8강 막 그 다음에 가는 건 좀 어려울 것 같아요.
On the battlefield, dominate your competition with the infrared beam. And if that's not enough, experience real rapid-fire action with the Gel Bead Blaster. With the included interactive curriculum, anyone can learn how to code, teach it to move, recognize shapes, and a whole lot more.
안녕하세요.
The Lion,
The Tiger
장민철입니다.
크리템입니다.
맹수들의 식사 시간이라는 이런 타이틀을 걸고 만나게 됐는데 이런 KeSPA컵이라는
김상이 차려져 있잖아요. 이름도 약간 캐스파 컵바. 캐스파 컵또 해설 안 하신다고 들었는데 맞아요?
못하죠? 네. 사고를 한번 쳤어가지고.
그래?
껌이에요, 껌! 아프리카 프릭스 만나보도록 하겠습니다.
팀은 일단 다른 거보다 좀 외모가 엄청나다는 게 또 호평이 많아요.
아,
무기 좋다.
3명?
몇 명을 딱
네?
정하지 마요 그렇게.
화제가 된 선수들이 실제로 3명이었어가지고
무기 좀
룩이 좋다, 보기 좋은 떡이 맛도 좋다. 유명한 셰프가 또 다시 들어왔어요. 완전 탑
안
셰프.
유명한 셰프가 별로 없는 것 같아.
그건 맞아요. 하도 이 롤판이 오래되다 보니까 경력들이 다 높아.
다들 이제 커리어도 있고
커리어가 있어서 어떻게 보면은 레스토랑 오너에서 약간 주방장으로 내려온 최연성 감독이 있고요. 그다음에 그때 탑솔로 한때 저희를 이제 국공에 취하게 만들었던
약간 아프리카 프릭스 그룹의
네.
실력파 메인 보컬이라는 말이 많아요.
그렇죠. 프랜차이즈 스타. 최근에 또 이제 플라이, 미스틱 영입에 성공하면서 재밌는 재료들이 선택이 됐어요. 근데 플라이라는 식재료는 조금 너무 호불호가 갈리는 식재료가 아니냐.
딱 그 말이 정확한 것 같아요.
네.
완전 극단적인 호불호.
홍어라든지 민트 초코?
그 너무 세 거.
아니 극단적인 호불호를 하면서요. 하와이안 피자나 민트 초코인데 이게 메타에 따라서 호가 되느냐, 요새는 또 메라 그래야 되는데 매불매가 매가 되느냐 불매가 되느냐 뭐 이런 미드라이너가 있기 때문에 이 식당은 조금 매니아틱한 그런 식당이 되지 않을까. 동물로 치면은 아나콘다. 아나콘다 괜찮을 것 같아. 이게 외래종이면서도
되게 맞는지 모르겠지만 근데 좀 세니까.
아니, 뱀이 일단 호불호가 되게 심하잖아요.
맞아. 그리고
네.
물소를 한 입에 먹잖아.
그렇죠. 누구든 한 입에 먹을 수 있는. 그리고 변온동물이잖아요. 기본적으로 뱀은.
전문 용어 나왔어.
네, 현지화에 실패하면 죽을 수도 있기 때문에 그래서 저는 아나콘다 괜찮을 것 같습니다.
진짜 우리도 뱀은 잘 안 건드려요.
맞아요. 아나콘다.
그만큼 배 안 고프면
네.
지나가다가 그냥 물소나 사 먹는
아프리카 프릭스의 순위 또 예상을 해봐야 되는데 저는 변온동물이다 보니까 극과 극일 것 같아요. 못하면 바로 탈락. 못하면 바로 탈락. 근데 잘하면 4강. 그만큼 얼마나 잘 잡아먹고 다니면서 소화를 빠르게 시킬 수 있느냐.
근데 진짜 말씀하신 거에 완전 동의하고 지금 당장 캐스파컵은 시간이 너무 짧아서 4강까지는 고점을 찍어도 좀 힘들지 않아요. 조금 고점만 낮추면서
8강 2라운드?
잘 되면
아프리카 프릭스의 키플레이어를 뽑아봐야겠는데 기인이라는 생각이 들어요. 사실 저번 서머 시즌 후반부에서는 우리가 봤던 기인보다 조금 아쉬웠던 모습?
오히려 어찌 보면 기인과 그러니까 아이들인데 기인만 그러니까 뭔가 다 비정상인데 기인만 너무 정상적인 그런 느낌도 있어요.
그래서 기인이 얼마나 비정상이 될 수 있을 것인가, 아니면 다른 선수를 정상으로 만들 수 있을 것이냐. 그러니까 이게 정상과 비정상이 기인 중심이기 때문에 우리가 나누는 거고, 과연 기인 선수가 얼마나 상대방을 찍어 누를 수 있을지도 한번 지켜봐야 될 것 같아서 키플레이어로 저는 선정하겠습니다.
네, 그럼 저 같은 경우는 간만에 우리 드레드 얘기하는 것도 좋은 것 같아요. 표식을 볼 때 느낌이 드레드였다는 생각도 들거든요.
그쵸. 이 선수 약간
맹수고 뭔가 변수 덩어리
그런 느낌이죠. 이제 뱀이 머리가 잘려도 물거든요. 드레드는 자기 목숨이 날아가도 상대를 물어버리는.
그러니까 너무 공격적이야.
그렇죠. 그런 느낌이 약간.
실수도 많긴 해.
내 목이 떨어져도 넌 물겠다.
그런 부분이 근데 부족한 부분이 많았어요. 그래서.
그렇죠. 이게 실제로 자기는 살면서 물어야 되는데.
그러니까
네,
우리가
너무...
다 죽으면 어차피 안 되니까.
맞아요.
그래서 드레드가 이제 조금 내공이 쌓였으니까 이제는 뭔가 훨씬 더 섬세하게 잘해야 된다고요.
맞아요.
그래서 드레드 뽑겠습니다.
APK 프린스 카카오 선수가 나가고 최근에 폴로리스 선수가 들어왔어요.
엄청 화제가 됐어요. 발차기 어쩌고저쩌고 하는데
그 발차기 하면 또 클 텐데.
나는 앞발이.
그럼
진짜
네.
잘했던 선수잖아. 아니 지금도 충분히 잘하고.
맞아요. 네, 카카오가 나가면서 조금 맛이 밋밋해졌는데 플로리스라는 조미료가 딱 들어가면서 이게 팀의 색깔이 좀 한 단계 업그레이드된 그런 색깔이라고 생각이 듭니다.
전 그리고 APK 프린스는 익수를 정말 좋아해요. 익수가 좀 맛있어.
이게 약간 구수한 맛이 있죠.
우리 지금 컨셉이자 컨셉.
네.
진짜 뭐 다른 애들가 아니라 익수 선수가 진짜 그 맛이 예측도 안 돼. 먹기 전까지. 여기 전체적으로 다 그래요. 미드 바텀도 그렇고.
네.
그러니까 절대 그냥 사냥당하지 않을 거야. 만약 사냥당하면 엄청 진짜 창의적이고 무슨 사고 칠지 모르.
오히려 이런 팀들이 좀 잘하던 팀들 입장에서 까다로운 상대.
그러니까
고슴도치 같은 느낌이랄까.
어.
그냥 안 당하고
아니면 약간 스컹크?
스컹크? 그 너무 냄새나죠.
아니 자기 무기가 있다는 거.
아.
그러니까 보기에 조금 그래. 좀 약해 보일 수 있다.
On the battlefield, dominate your competition with the infrared beam. And if that's not enough, experience real rapid-fire action with the Gel Bead Blaster. With the included interactive curriculum, anyone can learn how to code. teach it to move, recognize shapes, and a whole lot more. On the battlefield, dominate your competition with the infrared beam. And if that's not enough, experience real rapid-fire action with the Gel Bead Blaster. With the included interactive curriculum, anyone can learn how to code, teach it to move, recognize shapes, and a whole lot more.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to KeSPA Cup 2019. I am Atlas. This is Achilleos.
Hi.
And look, welcome to New Year's Eve in Korea.
Pretty much, yeah. We're just about to hit there.
Absolutely, just ticked over.
1 minute to go, as far as my clock
All right,
says.
yeah, no, mine's there too.
We're almost there, though. New Year's Eve. We're going past midnight. I have driven across the city to be here to step in.
And actually, the only reason we're running the games tonight is so that we're not wasting Seth's time. So we put the games on. It's absolutely not true.
I made some demands when I arrived. No, not quite. But thank you guys for sticking through and tuning into the broadcast. We do apologize for all of the delays that have been had throughout this, but we are ready to go.
I do want to sort of officially apologize to those of you if you were watching or listening to the English broadcast from the studio that we did have to say goodbye to our studio audience.
Yes.
We're sort of unable to have a studio audience in here at this time. So we apologize that we weren't actually able to bring you the games, but I hope you can enjoy them from wherever you made it to, and I hope that you are warm and safe somewhere because it's freezing outside.
It really is. It got so much colder.
It was almost like you know, late autumn type temperature.
Yeah, it was kind of getting to that.
And like during the day, and now it's just absolutely frozen. But there are absolutely no shots as far as like introducing the players because we've already done all that.
Exactly
we are straight into pick and ban for Game 1, Afreeca Freecs versus Hanwha Life Esports. I do want to throw out a quick PSA before we get started. My brain is not going to be capable of doing any sort of analytical commentary, and therefore Achilleos is going to be your color caster with all of his experience coming not from any League of Legends.
It's going to be incredible.
Apart from 3 days of KeSPA Cup.
3 days of KeSPA Cup. Everything that came between, I don't know, the start of League of Legends up until Season 8.
There we go. I mean, that's still 8 years.
There's a decent gap, though. There's that 1 year gap. Of,
let's just hope, you know, KeSPA isn't picked and no one uses teleport.
I read the
Oh, wait, no,
preseason
you learned that one. You learned that one.
I did learn that one.
Yeah, teleport's been nailed, so I think we're absolutely fine. So here we go. We've got the Yuumi banned away from Lehens, an understandable one. I believe you even have some experience with the old Lehens Yuumi from our previous broadcast, which was technically 2 days ago, but feels kind of like I should be saying yesterday that I'm currently very, very confused. Heimerdinger and Cassiope are going to be banned as well, so entirely bottom lane bans. Cassio certainly a favorite of Lava's and did very, very well.
Yeah, so a lot of those going to be taken away. The Syndra is available, however, and that's been a very prime pick, so we'll be locked in for Fly, who is very well versed on that champion. Of course, now over to the side of Hanwha Life with the Misfortune and the Zygon. Wouldn't be surprised to see the Varus. There we go.
Oh, I couldn't
finish my sentence, because otherwise I would have looked really smart. Now it looks like I'm just going along with it, but I was going to say the Varus has been either the pick against the Misfortune or the prime pick if she is off the board, unless you want to go for that mage bottom that you're talking about. Ryze will also be locked up here by Hanwha Life to accompany the Varus, and we'll have to see where they want that to go. Whether it's going to be Tempt in the mid lane or Cuvée up top, but Ryze is pretty flexible, and he's also pretty good in most matchups. So.
Yeah. I like the flexibility here, certainly good in the first round. Spirit hovering the Kiana, a pick that he's been playing quite a lot in solo queue recently, so definitely a flex between himself and Fly. Of course, Fly likely to be piloting the Syndra Mystic, more notably a primary marksman player. However, will have been doing some time on the mages on the bottom side of the map as well, so definitely technically...
Oh, wow!
Oh my goodness, what the heck? Our first Lucian! This has been banned so many times. It was left entirely through a draft yesterday for some unknown reason. And we're going to finally figure out why it's been permabanned.
Okay, this is the state that we're at. We didn't even notice that the thing that was 100% banned made it through the draft because of how long everything has been going on for. But yeah, Lucian actually going to be locked in, and we have to see where that's going to go, because suddenly this, the Lucian could be in the mid lane for Fly. The Syndra could be going down into the bottom lane for Mystic, as you were alluding to. We have the Nautilus coming through, so either support or mid perhaps to have something a little bit beefier in the mid lane to go up against that Lucian. We get the crap poked out of you, however you would expect. But Thresh will be taken away for the side of Hanwha Life, so looking to get rid of that awkward relationship bot lane, I guess we could call it.
Yeah, the wife steal. Good old wife steal bottom lane. And the wife now in the game, which is the weird part. So is it still wife steal if she was returned? I don't really know. And if you kidnap someone, is it actually called returning? I don't know. They're not a library book. Let's move past this one. As Echo is going to be banned away, and I wish I had some of his powers right now to remove that conversation from the broadcast.
Every time you say wife steal, I think of the bishop from The Princess Bride. Is it marriage?
Oh my, I haven't thought about The Princess Bride for quite some time. It's inconceivable. All right, Zoe going to be banned away here as well as the Afreeca Freecs look at their final ban here on the blue side. And then Lava will be able to pick something away, likely to be an Aatrox. It'll be the first time QV has actually played a champion more than once, though. So certainly been playing a lot so far in the 5 games that we have experienced Hanwha Life Esports. Okay, and that is one of the picks that has been doing some work. But it was mostly Lehens using the Quinn as more of an aeroplane to fly around the Rift.
Well, we do see it taken away. I was expecting maybe perhaps to see Tahm Kench banned because they do have the Varus on the side of Hanwha Life. So perhaps just Afreeca getting the inkling that this is going to be a Nautilus support and they're just saving that final pick for attempt in the mid lane. We'll have to see how things transpire. For now, they have a little bit of flexibility in that regard. So uncertain where the Lucian is going to go. The Syndra thereby also going to be shifted around. But speaking of Tahm Kench.
Shelly, please. All right, it's Tahm Kench on the bottom side of the map. I was actually going to say that my gut feeling is that we're going to see Lucian bottom lane, but that is not sort of the Korean way in scrims at the moment. So looking at this, generally you'd expect that. However, it looks like we're going for a Jhin Tahm Kench bottom lane. Okay. We'll have Syndra mid, and we're going to go with the top lane Lucian picked blind into Hanwha Life.
Yeah, so just going to have that Kiana sticking right where she's at. And, hey, how about a Blitzcrank?
How about a Nautilus mid as well for Tempt, which could be a cute one.
Make it a lot more difficult for that Tahm Kench to get saves, especially on somebody like Jhin. If he gets hooked in, he is
you can
quite squishy, but
you can devour someone out of it, as we might have this double-ranged bottom lane. So far as our support center is concerned, we've seen her paired alongside the Yasuo and the Aurelia, and I never want to see those bottom lanes ever again. They were awful, and so this is going to be a bit of a mix-up with what we're going to get, and I like double range. It reminds me of those times in, I'm glad that, well, I guess yesterday we saw Gorilla play because he did popularize the Misfortune support at a Worlds a couple of years ago. That one you definitely will remember, Mr. Achilleos.
Absolutely.
And Senna just feels like a champion designed to be a better version of that. Has that the range auto attack and the extra range that you can get from that passive, which is pretty busted, plus the Piercing Darkness to go alongside the Piercing Arrow up against Piercing Light. There is so much piercing.
There is.
On the bottom side of the map.
Well, we are just about ready to go ahead and jump into game number 1. Some very interesting competitions coming out, especially for the side of Afreeca. A lot of AD damage coming through that Syndra in the mid lane. Gonna have to pump out the AP and see if it's enough for them to get a win.
Yeah, see whether it's going to be enough damage just with Fly there. But ladies and gentlemen, here we are finally. We've ticked over to New Year's Eve, and that means more League of Legends. Hanwha Life versus Afreeca Freecs for theoretically our second matchup of the night, but the first of the day. Let's get into it.
Well, obviously there's no one to do the fan cheers here. So.
Afreeca, Hana, 둘, 셋.
Afreeca fighting! I was waiting for the transition screen.
Okay, sorry.
Hanwha Life, Hana, 둘, 셋.
Hanwha Life fighting! Damn, Hanwha fans are super keen today.
Yeah.
My goodness. All right, well.
They have those deep voices, too.
I know.
So I believe no, it's just the KeSPA staff, but I thought it was the Hanwha staff looking at it.
Sometimes as the day goes on, your voice tends to get deeper, I think. That's what happens. And so therefore, they've been here for a while, and therefore things have deepened just a little bit.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the Rift right now. Mm-hmm. Dead even 2.5 thousand gold per year.
Thanks for giving us the gold update at 1 minute into the game. Absolutely fantastic. That being said,
that's the peak analysis you're gonna get.
Yeah, when it comes to getting ahead of yourself, I think that it's already been done at this point in time. You're allowed to do whatever the heck you want. But seeing Jim for the first time here in the KeSPA Cup, Mystic going to be piloting that one. Does like his skill shot champions there on the bottom side, so certainly a comfort pick for him. And Fly back on the Syndra, despite us thinking that that was going to be a flexible choice, and Tempt is hiding. Oh, there he is. No, he comes back out again.
I like the skill shot champions. Point and click. It's just too boring.
Yeah, well, that's why we reworked Rise. Just didn't want that to happen anymore.
As we call it.
No Annies to be seen.
To use some terminology that we use in the Overwatch League, it's a it's a dishonest hero.
Okay, not honest to the amount of skill you have, that sort of thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, Mystic getting some orders off a lot of
damage.
damage.
A ton of damage to Exhaust.
Yeah, flash away. As
chose a little bit. My apologies.
No, that's all right. Honestly, like let's just see how the chips lie. Whoever's the loudest at the time, they can yell about it. I don't think there's any issues here. As the dancing grenade not exactly going to salsa its way over to the enemies at this stage. And Mystic with a big shot still in the chamber. Not going to be able to land it on any champions just yet. There's Lava. Bit of damage to answer back, and I like this. We're seeing Lava on his second marksman out of 5 games. And speaking of keeping honest, sometimes, you know, when oh god, oh no, oh dear.
Are you ready?
I am, well, look, to be honest, I'm pretty used to it at this stage of the night. It's going to be confusing having you here to help me out.
Well, I originally, I got the phone call, and they said, would you be able to come down to the studio and help out? And after having watched what you were going through and having been through it myself numerous times, as everybody remembers the old pause with me and Monty back in the day.
Good old pause of doom.
I couldn't let you go through this solo as much to my ability. Obviously, we're already going through it solo, but once the opportunity
if I was to,
that I could help you out, I had to leap at the opportunity.
If it was this moment and I was by myself, I don't know what would happen if that sepia screen popped up with me by myself. That's
your mental would break.
Yeah, I think that might have been the breaking point.
There's that, I forget, I don't even know what episode it was from because there's so many, but there's that one episode, I believe, is SpongeBob, where his brain breaks and it literally shows it in his skull and it just snaps.
Yeah.
That's basically what happens when it comes down to those types of situations. So it's okay. I'm here. I'll keep you. I'm your constant.
Oh,
for those who have watched Lost, I'll make sure that you don't lose your mind.
So the descent into madness will be either both of us and not just one of us, which is certainly the way that we want to do it. Yeah. Do you know what I think is really cool about this particular moment? We can actually play that game of I Spy.
Oh, can we? No, we can't.
Dang it! All right. Well, if another pause comes, you got the I Spy to look forward to.
I Spy some League of Legends.
All right. That was a slight mic sound issue, I think. Yeah. But we have resolved it, and everything is... Oh, sorry, lighting system.
There we go. Either way, taken care of now, so we can carry on.
Carry on dancing, to quote one of my favorite bands from the 90s, Savage Garden.
I haven't listened to them in quite some time.
I know, it's been a while, right?
All right.
We were listening to some old stuff last night. As Temp down to about 100 health, as those caster creeps were enough. Spirit didn't even need to land that last.
That's a bit of a late flash.
Slightly delayed.
From good old Temp there, but either way, we'll get taken down. So first blood. Nicely going over to Afreeca, and that will help them out quite a bit, given how much their bot lane has been getting bullied. Temp will just take that TP back through and try to continue on with his farming so he doesn't fall too much further behind in that regard.
Yep, Keen, he's going to spot Haru here, taking the Rift Scuttler. Not going to try and do battle with him. Little did he know, Haru didn't actually have his smite available, so he might have been able to actually work on stealing some things away. I do want to go up towards the top side and actually look at what Keen's able to get done with this solution, having it be permabanned apart from one game and having this be the only one that we've actually seen it picked up. Do want to see what all the fuss is about. But I'm glad that we see it in a solo lane, because that is the reason why a lot of these Korean teams are respecting this solution so much, is its ability to flex between mid and top rather than be utilized in the bottom lane.
Yeah, I know that our, I was going to say our resident sick boy, I know that LS, who is unfortunately ill, I should say, is very confused about it. So I'm sure that he's at home, resting up, trying to feel better, but also watching this very intently to see just what exactly has been going on with this Lucian and figure out the mystery surrounding it. Try to peel back the mist and reveal exactly what's been going down.
Well, so far, what's been going down is more creeps. on the Lucian side. So far so good as far as showing us that this is a power pick. And always, you know, we saw Huni play this, you know, a couple of years ago. You were there for that one.
We don't mention the Huni Lucian.
Yeah, the Huni Lucian was one that I think he was allowed to play in certain games and not others. But also Kuzan was a very notable mid-Lucian player who would get mid-Lucian bans even when it was more of an 80 carry pickup. As Control Ward goes down, spots that there is a ward that sees the Kiana. And that is going to be Tempt and Haru taking a moment to move towards topside, but Keen, very heads up, is going to move himself out of there.
Yeah, got the call early. So we'll just be a takeaway on the Gromp here for Haru, and we'll be in a position, if KeSPA can keep pushing that minion wave up underneath the tower, they might be able to try to go for something onto Keen. But obviously going to be very elusive as he does have that E-dash. Go ahead and take himself away from things like the Sonic Wave. So Haru might not be able to find any type of engage. We'll be recalling just in case they can get the wave in position for him to try the dive. So he's going to be inching back more towards that brush, as there's just a little bit of skirmishing there into the bottom lane. The Overload not connecting.
Yeah, still going for it. Cullen comes out. QV going to tank up some turret shots, and there was no way that dive was working. I actually really liked that Keen moved back underneath the turret, because he saw the Nautilus head back to the mid lane and knew that 2 versus 1 wasn't going to be good enough underneath that turret.
And not only that, but if it is that much of a heads-up play here for Keen, which given who it is, given Keen's repertoire, it very well could be. It opens up immensely here for Spirit to come down into the bottom lane where he's struggling against the Dragon, but of course has the Smite heal, so we'll be okay in the end. So they get that first Drake kill confirmed, no interruption whatsoever from the jungler of Hanwha Life, so very nice start for Afreeca.
Yeah, moving towards a Mountain Drake for our second one, Earth, Wind, and Fire on the table. If we do get that Infernal Soul that we had so much of yesterday. My goodness, just too many Infernal Souls as Mystic is going to get snared up. The teleport is going to be the response. Lava in trouble, down to 100. Keen's going to pick that one up. The flash forward from Jelly just licks Lahens, and he is going to go down as well. Double kill for the Lucian, although I don't think it was all about him in that particular play. Jelly really earning his spot in the support role.
Either way, just a really good opportunity for them to collapse in. I mean, this is a very squishy bot lane that Hanwha Life has set up for themselves with the double AD, essentially, you know, the Senna going over for the support, of course. But we'll go ahead and take another look at this one. It's just very well set up. They try to push forward to get onto Mystic, but the root comes through. The TP instantly on the back end of the root. So Lava, he just doesn't have any escape. This is why I was talking about maybe having the Tom Kench over on the side for Hanwha Life. But they don't have it, so they can't devour the Varus to try and keep him safe, and they both just end up getting taken down. So very well played by the Afreeca Freecs, and a great call on the TP. So Keen comes down, and he profits immensely for that. Tied in CS, but now has a bounty on his head with a 2-0 start.
Yeah, the thing that I absolutely love about that play was how fast Keen pressed that teleport button. There was one route that landed. There was Mystic having, like, what, a few seconds to lock that one down. And speaking of locking things down, Tempt locks himself towards the wall and is going to survive. So back to my point. There was only a couple of seconds. Mystic said, I've been rooted. This is now your opportunity. Lahen steps a little bit further forward than he should have, and instantly Keen is there with the teleport. Like, the communication is just brilliant, and this is a team that hasn't been together very long, apart from, you know, Spirit and Keen playing together alongside Jelly, I guess, but he was the support, the sub-support anyways. Depth charge. Going to register. Q lands. That's a huge one, but Scatter the Weak is good.
But here's the arrival.
Yep, the ult comes forward. Snare is good to help protect Haru, but Flyers found Tempt on the bottom side. Spirit dancing around here as well, but Lava's going to turn up. The extra movement speed. Meanwhile, on the top side, the curtains have been called, but Lahen's cold to... Oh, no! One more bolt would have done it, and there's a blast going to keep him alive, but no Spirit's there with the shot. Mystic. Yeah, that was a cute one, because actually, that probably would have killed.
The Deadly Flourish was going to connect, so Spirit just trying to get involved, making sure that this Jin can't get any kills whatsoever, it would seem, but he still does have the assist, and this is just yet another situation that Hanwha tried to set up for themselves. Really aggressive, as I'm sure we'll have the replay in a moment, but it just nets them absolutely nothing, and now Lava might be in a spot of bother.
Yeah, might not be able to get towards that replay because Jelly's going to lick Lava, and that is going to activate that Deadly Flourish, so Mystic causing the flash to come out. And now Avaris with no flash or a Tom Kench is going to be very vulnerable bottom side.
Normally we would recommend not licking Lava either, but taking another look at this, I mean, Tempt just trying to go hard in the paint, got the depth charge cut out, and Sonic Wave does come through, but Fly times the E perfectly, pushes him back, sets up for Har to have to flash away so he doesn't get deadly flourished, and they part themselves. Temp gets completely cut off. They can't kill off Spirit. The snipes come through, and Keen just has the damage output on this Lucian to just go ahead and rip everybody to shreds and set up for the finishing blows. It's just, I don't know, a really weird disjointedness coming through from the side of Hanwha Life. No one really on the same page, or at least all on the same page, but it's the wrong page.
Yeah, maybe they're all on the wrong page. However, this is, if you have a look over the other side of the coin, it certainly is another example of the Afreeca Freecs just having better communication, having better control of this early game. And so far, perfect game pace. Achilleos, we've, in fact, that was back in your time when the Afreeca Freecs were just known as having the perfect game ones. They were just so good at it. Yeah. Don't watch the rest of the series most of the time, but their game ones, damn, absolutely amazing. And maybe we're getting a taste of that once again.
That was usually when TuSon popped off really hard.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, what happened in games 2 and 3?
TuSon giveth, TuSon taketh away, I feel is now KT's issue.
Yeah.
However, he has had some stand-up
it's an issue,
like you're talking about. So, yeah, definitely has been certainly giving it on both sides. As Fly clears out this wave, but Tempt, he wants to be able to at least go toe-to-toe, finds a dredge line, but there's the culling. No more maneuverability here from the Nautilus.
But he's still very tanky.
Yeah.
So he's okay, and he's got that potion, so he'll just go ahead and chug up a couple of times and be all right. Honestly, he's not that far behind as far as the CS is concerned, so has been keeping pace with the Syndra.
Yeah.
Which is quite good once you get that much AP coming through, and he's got the boots to help get that extra little bit of MR coming through. So the damage doesn't do nearly as much, and we will just see a second Drake picked up. So Infernal, making things interesting at least.
Yeah, it is that Earth, Wind, and Fire. So we're going to open up the map a whole lot now as we light those fires in the mid lane, and of course around the Brambleback. Mystic towards the bottom side. Once again, just dancing some grenades around here, and we'll see how this Jhin is going to fare in the late game. Not sure whether you saw the Reddit post recently about, I didn't know that there was League of Legends speedrunning. Did you know there was League of Legends speedrunning?
What?
Yeah, so there are categories like how fast you can get through the tutorial, how fast you versus 5 bots, how fast you can win the game, that's a category. And also, it's how fast you can kill Baron. And the time is, so someone with AP Jhin apparently killed the Baron at 20 minutes and 1 second.
Solo.
Yeah, so they solo killed the Baron in 1 second. I didn't watch the video, which is unfortunate because it was sort of between games and I was just checking Reddit and then I saw it and I was like, that's curious. I want to come back and watch that. Didn't, but kind of wish I did based on what I'm talking about here. But yeah, it was Jhin that did it, and I was playing the AP Jhin, so we're not going to see Mystic do exactly what he did, but I don't know how that even happened.
Yeah, I have no idea. I actually did something similar years ago before I was even in commentary at at like a LAN party with a bunch of friends, and we decided to throw on, we had like a, I don't know, $20 gift card or something on the line.
Yeah.
That we put up, and it was just whoever could kill all of the towers the fastest. You had to clear every single turret on the map.
Maybe that's a category. Maybe I just didn't read down far
If it's
enough.
not,
That
then it should
like
be. Congratulations. There you go, speedrunners.
Oh, beautiful. Look at us giving the real information, right?
This is back in the day, but I attempted it with Twisted Fate because I figured, you know, being able to jump around the map, having the ultimate would be pretty nice. But it was Heimerdinger, OG Heimerdinger, that was able to take it.
I guess that would make sense.
Yeah.
I mean, OG Heimerdinger could actually repair turrets as well, so you keep yours alive at the same time as Haru.
Nice
Smites away his own blue buff.
Sparing some blushes. Unfortunately, that doesn't take them out of perfect game territory, but actually the tower that they killed does, so never mind. My bad.
So, yeah, one turret away from a perfect game, so still, you know, it's pretty close.
I was too busy talking about killing all of the towers on the map to notice that the other tower had gone down in the actual game.
A little bit ironic that the conversation was about dead towers while the tower was falling.
Definitely more ironic than everything in the song ironic.
Which song ironic?
That one that says, like, isn't it ironic, don't you think?
Oh, God, yeah.
Where nothing is actually irony.
Sort of like that song, like, Don't You Think It's About You?
Yeah.
Which, and, like, you know, obviously it is. You know? I don't remember who sings that song. Dang, what's wrong with me?
You're so vain.
Yeah, that's the one. But yeah, like, I mean, it kind of is.
I don't remember who sings it, though.
It depends who the you is, I guess. Like, maybe it's a different you. but
maybe
it's about someone. It's got to be true in some way for someone.
Maybe it means you spelled like Y-E-W.
Ah, but then it's about them. Like, regardless of whether they're a female goat or not.
Sure.
It's still about them. Or maybe there's no specificity on the exact female goat that it is about. And that's the issue. I feel like this conversation got derailed very quickly.
Well, it hasn't been much else going on. And it's still just going to be 5-0 at the moment here.
You're going to reference me at some point in this game, and I'm not going to know whether you're talking about me or a goat. Very confused.
See, this is my plan all along. I knew that your mind was in such a fragile state that I could very easily abuse it.
I'm being mentally abused. Please, someone send help. You've already had help sent. It was Achilles. No. My final punishment, so beautifully orchestrated.
I am the help. I am Pagliacci.
Well, speaking of orchestration, let's see where the Mystic can perform on this Jhin. First time we've seen it so far. Yeah. Has been a pick that we've seen floating around as far as solo queue is concerned. There's been a lot of players that have been delving into the Jhin. And that was actually one of those picks that I really wanted to see a little bit more of in Meta's past, because yeah, it's not like he's much different than he used to be. But opting in for more of those consistent damage dealers in the KeSPA and the Xayah in patches past, and now Misfortune certainly being up there.
It was looking like there was maybe potential fishing for a fight breaking out in mid, but if you're just playing forward as they get ready for this Infernal to spawn.
Yeah, heading towards a Dragon Soul quite quickly on the
Freecs
side. Yeah, oh dear. Yep, supreme display of talent, relatively unnecessary, but still going to confirm the kill onto KeSPA, who continues to have a pretty rough KeSPA Cup thus far.
I mean, that's the whole point. It's a display. It's like a display item. It's not for sale. So it doesn't need to be used to actually kill anybody. It's just to show off like what can be done.
Yeah, like look at my talent that I just used to gameplay you against the wall.
Precisely. And with KeSPA gone, that is just going to be Hanwha saying, you know what? Let's not try and go for a dragon. It's only the third. There's one more chance. So they get 5 more minutes before they have to worry about the Infernal Soul coming through for Afreeca.
Yep, and in fact, these grenades are starting to do a fair bit of damage as well, as this crit is starting to build up. I don't want to have a conversation about how to calculate Jhin's damage because I'm just not quite there yet, and there is a fight breaking out like you're talking about. Depth charge going to be utilized onto Fly, who gets devoured. Jelly just being thrown around like a beach ball. Both of them go golden at the same time at the teleport. He's going to be here. Double flashes fly in from the side. Is now Haru down to half health, but Tempt is flashing on forward. It's Haru's time to use his timepiece as the culling does come down, but isn't able to get enough. Keen still flashing on into 3 people. Is now Mystics like, I don't know about this one, my dude, but they're still alive. Double kill comes in, and they both get out.
All right, we're going to see a replay.
Should have banned that Lucian. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Wow, I thought he was definitely dead.
Incredible boundaries set there by Keen. I thought for sure that that was just going to be the end of it. The ace coming through onto Afreeca. Freecs. The fight starts off so well for Hanwha Life, but I mean, Keen puts up a Chovy-esque performance, I guess we could say, after what happened 2 days ago. With his Ornn, that they were able to turn this one around. I mean, the TP straight in, Jelly and Fly just looking like they were going to be dead. The flash chase over the wall to go ahead and finish off the Tom Kench to make sure there weren't going to be any further Devourers in. Keen blows the culling, doesn't get that much damage done, so you'd think that's going to be over with, but goes over the wall, just showing off, dashing back, and the crit damage is coming through, ripping them to shreds, gets rid of Haru in the front line, and he and Mystic able to set up that final kill then onto Tempt and escape with their lives intact. So they maintain a goal lead. They do give over 3 kills, but still ahead, and now it's a 5-0-2 Lucian, stretching the bounty gold here. The 550, Black Cleaver completed, 2 longswords in the inventory as well. I mean, Keen, he is a force to be reckoned with, speaking of which, so looking for the root, but it doesn't matter. The culling will just burn him down. The effective solo kill. The rest of the shots coming through from his teammates from Mystic, they don't connect, but they zone him back to keep him in the ultimate.
That was the first zoning Deadly Flourish that I've seen, I think. That was really cool. Made sure that Keen did definitely rip him apart with the culling.
Would you like to die or would you like to die?
Yeah,
Pick now.
It's not a great choice.
Yeah, that's what they set up for him.
My answer would be no. That's a great Scout of the week, as Spirit looks for a potential dive, but the wave clear is there. Dash Cannon thankfully online for Tempt. But Keen, not going to be too worried about the Realm Warp, given the pretty lackluster state of KeSPA's rise at this stage of the game. Not behind too much as far as farm is concerned, but when there's a 6 as the kill score in comparison to a 1, you could expect that Keen is certainly a big deal. As we have a look at this replay, and this is just Cull.
Hello.
Bye.
That was it. And then Lahen's got, he got popped.
Yep, that was all about the curtain call. Absolutely. Did approximately 10 damage in the death recap, I think, but gets kill credit. And 104 now will be Mystic's scoreline. Freecs now having to try and defend this turret. It's very, very low, but you can see Hanwha not quite able to even get up to it. Only the Varus with any range to speak of, really, apart from Lahen's, and Lava wants to kill it, and is able to stop some backs. Oh, wow.
Good chunk of damage.
Very close.
But yeah, I mean, even with the Rift Herald, can't knock down this tower. So they need that. They want to open up this map a lot more. Having that mid-tier 1 still be there is a bit of a sanctuary here for Afreeca. It means that Hanwha Life cannot pursue nearly as much as they would like. And given that that Infernal Dragon and the potential Soul is going to be coming up in 50 seconds, they need as much room as humanly possible to work with.
The thing I want to talk about is now sort of like build order change for Mystic on the Jhin. You have a look at it and you're like, all right, no, this is just the standard Essence Reaver into Zeal item X into the Infinity Edge, but he had 2 of the Cloaks of Agility, and now with the fact that Zeal is built out of the Cloak of Agility, you can do that to get even more cooldown reduction earlier with your Essence Reaver. As another culling flies down, the curtain calls there, Supreme Display of Talent, locks down 3, and the bullets still continue flying, but it's not enough to take down Lahen's. The rest of his friends were there to keep him safe, but they couldn't do it for the
But it probably doesn't matter. The tower is still going to go down, and the Dragon is spawning now in 10 seconds. Lahen's is down below half HP. Yeah, Dragon Soul's coming up. Even KeSPA chunked out a bit. Keen's into the back line.
Yep, the exhaust comes through. There's the ult coming out from Lahen's, but he's unable to take down Keen, who's pretty tanky with his Black Cleaver already completed, but Jelly not so much. He has to run away, fly, not with a large health pool either. Spirit does still have his Moby Boots activated and goes stealthy as the Terra Shape comes in on the grass. He's going to be all right as Mystic. That may not have been worth it, but Lahen's now down to about 200, now 500 health with the Piercing Darkness. There's a captive audience. The steal away from Haru. That saves them from the Dragon Soul, but is it going to save his life? No, the answer is Keen still dashing forward. Is the camouflage enough? Oh man, he's going to need as much as he can get as Keen waiting for the relentless pursuit, because that's exactly what he's doing. Goodness me, another culling.
He's also almost got flash. He's almost got flash.
Amazing stuff. The Piercing Light is too good. The flash out tried to get the double tap, but there was the Seraph's Embrace available from KeSPA that once again is going to stop him from falling too quickly in that fight. But damn, that looked so cool. Keen, my God, legendary now on this Lucian. I know. Have we discovered, is it the Lucian or is it just Keen? I don't know.
Yes. That's all we can say. We don't know until somebody else plays it. We have a sample size of 1. And based on this, Hanwha is never letting this get through a draft again. So we won't be seeing it again today.
Nope.
Tonight. Whatever.
And maybe the other teams were watching this as well. Or maybe they were asleep. As yeah, that was close. 270 health. Are just waiting on the smite very nicely.
Yeah, I mean, Keen, from there, he could just continue to pursue. He was just waiting on that timing. You can see it just sliver there left for that flash to become available so he can make that ballsy play. They get the lockdown onto the Deadly Flourish, so the double tap is able to clean up Lahen's. And
so
he wanted to get that kill underneath the turret, but couldn't quite make it happen, but still looked very stylish and has grown his bounty up to 700 gold with that 802. Like you said, legendary status obtained. Is it going to have to pull back there as that Sonic Wave connects, as does the Piercing Arrow. And they finally are able to claim this mid-tier 1 tower. But for Hanwha, where do you go from here? Keen is pushing into the bottom side right now, going to be threatening damage onto that turret, not from himself, but from the minions. It's already taken a considerable amount of damage. So that's going to get chipped away at, so they have to send one down to the bottom lane, as Spirit goes for a gank.
Yep, goodbye Lahen's. No Supreme Display of Talent necessary. He saves that to utilize against Tempt to try and keep himself alive, but the teleport comes forward. Spirit survives as well, gets out with a well-timed stopwatch, but Mystic is not so lucky on the opposite side. He hadn't actually completed his timepiece just yet. Did utilize the flash, but it was not good enough as Hanwha trade 1-for-1 support for AD carry.
And Jelly just a bit out of position there to try to save. Mystic was very much focused on keeping Spirit alive as he was the first one getting targeted by Hanwha after the initial gank onto Lehens. So wasn't really able to get over towards Mystic, who was trying to make something happen, but it's a 1v2 as a Jhin, so he gets taken out.
Yeah, and so much burst damage coming out from Lava as well. We haven't had time to talk about it, but it is going to be the lethality build on the Varus, a favorite of Deft's, most notably as far as lethality Varuses from the bottom side of the map are concerned. But it is going to mean that this Hanwha Life squad, theoretically, like, spikes more in the mid-game rather than the late game. That more DPS-focused, consistent damage Varus certainly does rip through teams when it builds up all of that crit and the rage and the rage blade stacks and all that sort of good stuff. But this certainly does a lot of damage if there's no armor on the opponents, but you just passively get armor as you get levels, and it's going to be less and less effective as this game goes on. So is that turret. That's in fact not effective at all anymore.
Yeah, that doesn't really do much. And for now, it's just going to be posturing around for this next minute and a half, you would anticipate, as Afreeca want to get that Dragon Soul for themselves. Hanwha trying to get as much ground as they possibly can. Taking down the inner mid tower would certainly help them out a lot and potentially set up for some kind of gank in that lower half of the river or even in the jungle of the Afreeca Freecs as they try to go over to the Drake. Won't be able to find it though. Temp going to be jumping forward, trying to find Spirit, but he's out of there.
Yep, the Umbral Glaive spots the ward. He's going to be able to clear that one out. As you can see, the Baron is littered with vision and flies super safe.
He's just chilling.
Yeah, and talking about, you know, the split push Syndra, you know that you definitely have a hell of a lot of vision control if she is just happily taking an inner turret on the top side of the map while the rest of her team is in the mid lane. So you can see all of those wards display exactly that. As this Louis Vuitton back is certainly very, very cool.
Yep.
From Spirit.
He's got a good amount of gold. So we'll just go ahead and pick up that Warhammer.
Yep, Corefield's Warhammer alongside his Serrated Dirk. That is going to be his second Serrated Dirk worth of lethality. Alongside his Umbral Glaive. I just like the name of that item.
We've noticed.
Yeah, I think so. I think everyone has. Almost with the Infinity Edge done for Mystic. He just needs that recipe completed as Lava doesn't find the piercing arrow. Tempt. He's going to be taken down.
Ooh.
Stopwatch is there. Don't know whether it's enough as the flash is good. As Tempt does get out, but not out far enough. And Lava, he's running as fast as his little legs will carry him. Spirit as well, looking to chase down the hands, but Blast going there.
They have
just
to
in
fight.
case.
They're going to have to fight here. Vision control coming through now for the side of Afreeca, getting rid of the wards in the river. The Dragon has been started.
This is on Haru. He has to steal it. This has to be a steal.
Can he do it again? That's going to be the question. Lava trying to poke out. Well, it doesn't connect.
Oh, no.
Going lower and lower.
And Chains of Corruption, certainly the important part. 1,500 health is now. The burst damage is coming in, but it
He's
resets for a moment. There's the Dragon Soul. Picked up by Spirit. 2 Infernal Drakes now as well. So much extra damage from this Afreeca Freak squad. As Hanwha Life try to chase down the low health bars of Afreeca, because if they get this reset, they're just going to be oh so much more difficult to take on, and it'll be a fight around a Baron that they have to contend with.
Yep, they're going to realm warp over, but they're on vision, so Afreeca perfectly aware of this, and they just have to kind of wait. So they're going to, oh god.
Yeah, they have to do this. They have to do this, Achilleos, because they have a lethality Varus. They don't have a Blade of the Ruined King. Their Baron actually isn't that fast.
Ward going down. Not going to spot out anything, and Afreeca says, okay, sure, you're not on it. We're just going to charge straight up the mid lane. They tax him that tier 2 tower.
Wow,
TP into the mid lane now for Lava.
Straight up calling their bluff right here.
Yep.
Control wards were in that pit. Afreeca say, nah, you ain't doing it.
It was just so well set up.
There's too many piercing abilities in this game, Achilleos. Just too many.
Now push over, so vision control back through for Afreeca.
All right, next team fight. You're taking the next team fight, and you have to call out every piercing ability name.
Oh no.
Just to update you, Lehens, that move that does the line thing, that's Piercing Darkness. You know the other ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I?
Yep. So Piercing Darkness,
yeah, Piercing Darkness,
Piercing Light, and Piercing Arrow.
And Piercing Arrow.
Yeah.
Okay. Just
Yep.
That's fine.
So that's going to be your little fun task.
I think we can manage it. Do you have flashcards? Can I get flashcards for this real quick?
Yeah, I could probably bring it up.
All right, cool.
I'll have a look. I'll work on the flashcards. You just work on the memory because I probably won't have the flashcards.
All right.
Okay, cool.
Fair enough.
Because Mystic's going to have his back stopped, so this is not going to be the team fight. That was, however, a piercing arrow.
It was.
Perfect example. Another one. Thank you very much, Lava.
Nearly got picked by that one. Spirit going to be moving forward. Ult not really going to clip anybody. Keen now coming in from the backside. Dashes forward, instantly has to go golden as the depth charge does come through. French line in, finds the top. Hen's getting blown up. Pops Azonius just to try to stay alive as the Devour comes in onto Keen, trying to keep himself alive. A sliver of HP, he still has not gone down. This man will not die, and the rest of Afreeca are able to pick up the kills here in the fight. Jump over the wall from Haru with that resonating strike will take him out to safety as Spirit continues to chase forward. Plenty of damage output coming through from Hanwha, but they just can't get the kills.
Oh my goodness, Spirit was
and I didn't
so
call
close.
any of the piercing stuff, so
I know. I counted a few of them, but it's much easier when I don't actually have to talk at the same time as play-by-playing, so I'm just not even going to critique it. This is going to be the Afreeca Freecs taking a Baron down very comfortably. You saw just how powerful that Dragon Soul was able to be in the hands of the Afreeca Freecs, but now Haru, can he do it again? The thief himself.
They wait out for the Sonic Wave. Now the cooldown is
Keen's
there.
back, guys. And yeah, that's a very cold Nautilus.
That's a very cold everybody.
Yeah. Very dead Baron as well.
Ooh, Haru, does he do it? Is he feeling it? No.
Heck no. No chance. Oh man. That's called not having much faith in your ability to win the game if you make that particular move. Keen is so scary.
Yes. Yes, he is. It's 18-4 with just about a 10,000 gold lead. We're 100 or so shy of that mark, but Baron and Infernal Soul in the hands of Afreeca. So we could probably get a fork in this one.
Yeah, I reckon.
10-0 and 4.
Yeah, Mr. Analyst, would you say, because you're allowed to do this now, you're allowed to call the games over.
Oh.
Yeah, that's all like your abilities.
If I knew that, I would have said that like 15 minutes ago.
Oh man! All right. Well, you know,
made up for some lost time. You know?
Yeah, you know, what for game 2 or 3. As look, if we want to go the distance, if you're gonna set a record, you may as well set it.
Screw it.
Right?
Why not?
It's probably one of the longest KeSPA days ever, right?
I'm fine.
There was apparently a longer one 4 years ago, or something like that. I don't quite remember. I probably watched it, but I wasn't here in Korea just yet at that stage.
Do they try to set something up here on the Keen?
It's still the 2v1's not good enough.
No, they can't do it. They can't do it. If they try to do this, Spirit's right there. He's waiting in the jungle. So yeah, they're actually just going to run down to the bottom lane, sit in a brush, and then recall.
Yeah.
Is what just happened for Haru and KeSPA.
It's like, you know how like you climb the big cliff and you're going to jump off into the water, you know? They're like, they got up to the top and they were like, oh no, man, this is too scary. I don't want to do it.
Get me off this Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
It's a mistake to get on here. Root coming through. Haru going to have to jump over to the side. Plenty of damage coming through, and he will be taken down. Curtain call shot. Manages to find the kill. In the meantime, Keen pushing forward. The calling going to be coming through. Chunks out QV, but doesn't find the kill yet. Depth charge going through, and Keen will, in fact, be taken down in this game. He's not immortal. The piercing light just wasn't enough to get the kill there onto Tamt, as Lava tries to retreat. Mystic chasing forward, however, should be able to finish him off. But there you go. The near 600 crit does, in fact, come through. Whew. And this will be the end of the game as the first Nexus Heart does fall. The Baron Empowered minions still continue to push forward. KeSPA doing his damnedest to clear this out, but there's not a whole lot that he can do at this point.
Yeah, the glory ain't as righteous as the item would allow you to believe, as Jelly thinking about trying to fight him off before this one comes out and is able to pick up the kill. In fact, as the Nexus will go down for game 1, Afreeca Freecs dominate Hanwha Life Esports.
That they do, a very firm victory. A little slow at the start, you know, we weren't sure exactly what was going to happen with Lucian. We were talking about it. It's like, oh, you know, like he's doing well in the CS department. He's outpacing KeSPA. And then he TP'd bot, and then the game kind of ended from there.
It did.
I feel like I blacked out for about 20 minutes because I saw Keen win the game in bot lane, and then 20 minutes later, I woke up again, and the Nexus finally exploded, so...
Well, just to fill you in on what happened, Afreeca continued to win, and then the game was over.
Gotcha.
So you didn't miss out on anything too much apart from some flashy plays, especially with that Devour and then Regurgitate into instant like move. And then, unfortunately, the Seraph's Embrace Shield was there, but my God, it was still so damn cool. 15 KDA here for your MVP, Lucian. And yeah, now maybe giving us enough reason to understand the permaban status of this particular marksman.
I'm still not necessarily sold on it just because this is Keen.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, KeSPA has been, especially in the past, like a phenomenal top laner, but he just didn't really seem that present here on the rise in this game. But
and
Keen
in
has
recent
always
days
been
as well, not so.
Yeah, Keen
not
has
so
always
strong.
been phenomenal. So for him to pop off on the Lucian, I would say that's really great. Enjoy that moment, Keen, because no one is ever going to let you pick that again.
Yeah.
No team is ever going to let that go through the draft for you.
It's certainly started poorly as well, as that gank in the mid lane was a very late flash from Tempt. You can understand it's very late in the evening.
Yeah.
As this is the point in the game that you were talking about where it feels like the game was just done.
That's when it kind of became the most apparent, at least for me, that this Varus bot lane wasn't really going to do much because there's not nearly enough protection for the Varus down there. They started off nicely. They were getting good poke damage in the early laning phase, but then once Keen arrived, there was nothing to be done about it.
Mm-hmm.
I can say that for every fight afterwards as well.
Yeah. Please apply to everything else. But I do want to talk about just how cool Afreeca looked as far as their coordination was concerned. Man, like, even this, wait for it, you'll see Keen and Mystic at exactly the same time turn around and shoot 10, right there.
Gorgeous.
It was so cool. As this is Lava just getting culled, the zoning W coming out from the Jhin, and then the supreme display of talent and supreme display of doing 1 damage with a curtain call bullet that we get extreme slow-mo for and a cool camera angle, and Spirit is probably upset if he watches the VOD.
Lovely. Really good stuff there from Mystic. He got his moment in the spotlight, but everybody did on the side of Afreeca. I mean, Fly having that really nice outplay when Hanwha Life very aggressively tried to jump on top of him, and he had the E to knock away the Lee Sin who was jumping on top of him. So there was just phenomenal moments for literally everybody on the side of the Afreeca Freecs, and very sparing numbers of good moments. As you can see, the interrupt on that with the Devour.
Devoured through the kick, man.
Yeah.
Oh, so clean. Flash to body
It was a good
block.
attempt. It was a really good attempt from Jelly to block that, and had he pulled it off, would have looked awesome. But even the forethought to go for that play to try to stop the overload is still phenomenal from a support player. That's exactly what you want to see on your team, is that kind of selfless play.
And I was excited about the Afreeca Freecs, but I was talking up, you know, waiting for Ben to turn up. Because Ben and Mystic have synergy together already from 2017 WE, and that would have been cool to watch. But now I'm psyched that Mystic, that Jelly's here.
Man, look at that. Lucian doing some misfortune damage.
Yeah, and the Varus, of course, lethality. Varus damage coming out from Lava, still able to get that done. The piercing arrows were certainly landing, but the piercing light was what shone through here today. Oh man, that's probably one of the best summaries I've ever said for the game.
Very eloquently done there, Maximilian. But guys, that is game 1 in the books. We, of course, have at least one more coming up, unless Hanwha Life can extend us to a game 3 series.
Fingers
We're going to
crossed.
find out just after this quick break.
the battlefield, dominate your competition with the infrared beam. And if that's not enough, experience real rapid-fire action with the Gel Bead Blaster. With the included interactive curriculum, anyone can learn how to code, teach it to move, recognize shapes, and a whole lot more.
안녕하세요. The Lion,
The Tiger,
장미철입니다.
크리템입니다.
KT 롤스터. 이 팀은 팀명에 비해서 2019 시즌은 굉장히 아쉬운 시즌 보냈었거든요.
그러니까요. 아예 전면 개편됐어요. 따지고 보면.
다 갈아엎었거든요.
약간 뉴 KT 롤스터.
리모델링 한 거죠. 어떻게 보면은
그렇죠.
식당이 잘 되다가
근데 먹을 게 좋아 원래 그 비유가.
그러니까 약간 그런 거죠. 영업정지 당한 거?
다 최고급으로 했는데
네.
그냥 손님이 없었어.
그러니까 손님이 없었어. 이게
네.
막상 열어보고 나니까.
그러니까.
그래서 셰프들도 갈고 그 다음에 재료들도 싹 갈았거든요.
그 셰프 사단이지.
네, 셰프
약간.
사단.
원래 그 유명 셰프들은 실제로 그 사단이 다 있다면서.
맞아요. 강동훈 사단이 오고 또 재밌는 거는 강동훈 사단에서 주로 썼던 식재료들이 함께 왔거든요. 네.
아니 원래 셰프마다 선호하는
그렇죠.
요리들이 있을
네.
테니까 스타일이나.
재료들이 이제 쿠로, 투신 식재료가 선수가 이제 함께 오면서 얼마나 그 실력을 다시 한번 만개할 것인가가 굉장히 중요하다고 생각이 들어요.
일단 여기 요리 전문가랑 그 동물 전문가에서 하나씩 비교를 해야 돼?
그렇죠.
네.
상처 입은 사람들이 모였다고 생각이 들어가지고
오
네.
그렇네.
어디서든 조금씩 상처를 입고 재기를 누리는 다시
오.
한번 뛰어오르게 그 재규어 그 까만색 재규어 있잖아요. 우리가 진짜 막 보여주겠다. 약간 절치부심한 느낌이기 때문에 저는 블랙 재규어.
블랙 제규.
블랙 재규어.
약간 느낌 있네 확실히.
네.
강해 보이는데?
KT 로스터 키플레이어도 알아봐야죠. 프로. 한때는 세체미 대결, 정상 대결을 펼쳤던 선수기도 하고 LPL에서도 실제로 이제 팀 성적이 매우 좋은 편은 아니었지만
되게
그
든든해.
안에서도 프로는 항상 든든했다. 국밥 같은 미드라이너가
맞아요.
네, KT 로스터에서 얼마나 미드를 잘 지켜주면서 상대적으로 좀 약세로 분류될 수 있는 탑 케어 얼마나 해줄 수 있을지, 그리고 신인 정글러라고 봐야 되거든요. 사실 보노랑 말랑도 어느 정도 아직까지는 얼마나 잘 케어를 하면서 움직여줄지가 중요하다고 생각이 들어서 프로 선수로 하겠습니다.
저는 그러면 약간 좀 선수들이 조금 밋밋해 보이는 것도 있거든요. 되게 작다.
네.
센데 좀 밋밋하다. 뭔가 엄청난 폭발력이 좀 나올 것 같진 않은 부분을 에이밍 투신 바텀 쪽, 에이밍 쪽에서 채워줬으면 좋겠어요. 에이밍이 지난 시즌도 보면 약간 느낌이 좀 보였거든요.
맞아.
그러니까 막 온몸에 막 펴져오면서 막 그냥 데미지 막 뿜어내는 그런 느낌이었단 말이에요. 리를 데프트 이런 느낌도 있었고.
리를 데프트.
예, 그런 느낌 좀 있었어요. 좀 흡사한 느낌이 있었다.
그러면 리를 데프트면 진짜 데프트라 했던 충신이 또 왔으니까 네.
성향은 비슷한 거 같아요.
그렇죠. 성향도 비슷하고 그러면
되게 화끈하다는 거지.
괜찮죠. 투신 입장에서도 비슷한 성향의 선수랑 하는 게 편할 테니까. 그럼 에이밍?
괜찮은 것 같아요.
KT 로스터 예상 성적.
8강 통과할 만하지 않을까 싶어요.
네, 저도 2라운드는 가는데 상대가 누구냐에 따라서
그때부터는 이제
그렇죠. 위에서 다른 맹수들이 넷이 기다리고 있잖아요.
그러니까 제규어가 사실 되게 밸런스가 꽤 좋은 걸로 알고 있거든요.
맞아요.
딱 봐도 그렇잖아요. 전체적인 밸런스가 꽤 좋은데 그렇게 엄청 또 큰 밸런스는 아니거든요. 또 우리 같은
네.
사자고랑이랑 비교하면
그러니까 상위권 포식자가 아니죠.
그러니까 우리는 그냥 뭐 근데 하여튼 그만큼 한이 절여 있다.
그렇죠.
그리고 막 달려든다.
빼지 않아. 한화생명 e스포츠거든요. 이 팀은 손대영 감독이 네, 손대영 셰프가 들어오면서 약간 맛집으로 소문 날 수 있는데 사실 셰프가 잘 되지 재료가 중요하잖아요.
그리고 뭐 서브, 막 보조, 막 이런 분들 다 중요하고.
보조 셰프도 원래 다
네.
중요하고
맞아요.
송도철 코치가 들어오면서 이 집이 요리사는 괜찮다 지금. 요리사 쪽으로 평이 좋은데 재료가 약간 오래된 재료가 아니냐는 이런 이야기들이 있거든요.
조금 맛이 덜
네.
나올 수 있다 지금. 철은 아니다.
그렇죠. 근데 재료들 중에서도 오래 묵히면 묵힐수록 맛있는 재료들이 있거든요.
김치처럼.
김치,
발효되는
삭혀 먹는
요구르트.
요구르트라든지.
근데 맞나?
아, 맞죠? 발효시키는 거 치즈 뭐 이런 거.
그럴게요.
타로랑 템트 라바라는 재료가 과연 얼마만큼 맛을 낼 수 있느냐. 리엔즈라는 재료는 약간 캐비어 같은 느낌이죠. 캐비어만 먹으면은 사실 이게 무슨 맛이 이게 왜 비싸지? 이런 느낌을 받을 수 있는 식재료이기 때문에 과연 최상급 식재료인 리엔즈와 함께 큐베, 타로, 템트, 라바라는 재료가 좀 어떻게 잘 어울려질 수 있을지 그게 제일 재밌을 것 같아요.
동물로 쳐도 약간 그런 느낌이 이게 확실히 장점은 있거든요. 말씀하신 코치진과 그다음에 리엔즈 이거 완전 뭔가 약간 최상급 느낌? 그래서 동물로 치면은 약간 근데 치타 같은 느낌.
치타
달리기는 빠르다.
근데 또 빨리 지치잖아요.
그리고 밸런스도 좀 무너져 있고 우리 같은 이제 또 맹수 만나면 우리랑 뭐 싸움이 되는 건 아니잖아.
그렇죠. 도망가야 되는 그런 상황이.
그러니까 달리기는 빠르다. 근데 달리기만 빠를 수
달리기만 빠를 수 있고.
네. 그러니까 뭔가 장점은 일단 확실하니까.
이게 빨리 달리지만 빨리 지친다는 얘기는 100m 달리기에서 1등 할 수 있잖아요. 판만 좀 잘 짜이면 괜찮은 팀이 될 수 있다고 생각이 들고 그러면 키플레이어 한번 또 얘기해볼까요? 하나님이요? 뭐 이거는
사실 둘 다 뭐
의견이 없을 것 같은데 리엔즈 캐비어 네.
아니면은 진짜 이번에 또 올해 약간 묵힌 재료 중에
누군지
템트 선수가
네.
아직 제대로 증명했던 적은 있거든요. 근데 맨날 나오는 얘기 있거든요.
라인전 노릇
뭔가 든든하다, 뭔가 묵직하다. 근데 항상 거기서 못 올라가잖아.
템트 그러면 템트와 리엔즈, 캐비어와 김치의 활약을 저희가 기대를 해보도록 하겠습니다.
맛있을 것 같은데.
맛있을 것 같은데 네. 같이 싸먹으면. 그래서 순위 하나생명 e스포츠의 전통적인 순위가 있거든요.
그 되게 하나 팬분들 되게 싫어한다고.
되게 싫어요?
네.
어쩌겠어요 사실.
맞아. 사실 저희 얘기가 지금 전체적으로 좀 불편할 수 있어요. 전체적으로 다 모든 팀들에 대해서.
그러니까. 근데 사실이잖아요.
맞아요. 저희가 최대한 약간 사냥감에 바로 보잖아요. 맞아요.
여 팀도 8강.
그러니까 뭔가 하나생명이 항상 벽을 못 넘잖아. 그런 느낌.
네.
막 어떤 그 선을 넘어야 되는데.
근데 이번에는 그래도 레스토랑인데 셰프도 새로 영입했고 식재료도 막 사왔어요. 그러니까 게시잖아 어떻게 보면 KeSPA 레스토랑 게시인데
개라고
근데 과연 오픈바를 얼마나 잘 받을 수 있을지 그거를 좀 기대를 해봐야 될 것 같습니다.
근데 저도 현실적으로 8강 막 그 다음에 가는 건 좀 어려울 것 같아요.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to KeSPA Cup 2019. This is potentially the final game of the night. We're about to crest the 1 a.m. point.
Yeah. Okay.
And so that means that technically, Happy New Year's Eve.
Yep, New Year's Eve.
To everyone. As Dread is going to come in, Spirit's going to spend some time on the bench, which is as it has been throughout the entirety of Afreeca's time here in the KeSPA Cup. I actually spoke to Dread 6 hours ago, just before this series. Let that sink in. Just about, whether or not we'd see him, and he was pretty confident that he was going to be coming in. So I think this is something that's pre-planned. It's not based on performance or anything like that.
I mean, it shouldn't be, because Spirit still played a phenomenal game.
Yeah, he did.
So, very much would have deserved to stay on, but there you go.
Haha, they found it.
Yeah, Lucian banned away
on
right
the
off
blue
the bat.
side as well. I love that.
Yeah, have to do it. And will be the casting up. Yeah, still going to be focused ban coming through here on to Hanwha Life, and now the Tom Kench going to be taken away as well. So two of the most instrumental parts of Freecs' composition that they had in game number 1 now going to be removed. I'd like to see how Afreeca is going to respond. The Yuumi going to be banned yet again. And we saw Heimer last time, and I expect that we're probably going to see it again.
Yeah, I think Heimer would be a pretty comfortable one here on Afreeca's side, but it will mean that they have to leave Misfortune available.
Very true.
So we'll see whether Afreeca do value the Heimer in Lava's hands or the Misfortune, which he has had access to, but no, it will be Syndra. They're going to have to trade 1 for 1. Not sure whether Afreeca have Heimer players. I wouldn't put it past Fly to pick that one up, but Spirit's gone, so not going to see any jungle Heimerdinger or anything like that. But this is the understandable first pick here on Hanwha's side in the Misfortune. Immediate hover of the Varus, certainly a favorite for Mystic, and one that he's played so many times already this tournament. Likely to be locked in, but not going to be paired with Timothy Kenshins on the bottom side. Oh, okay, never mind. Bit of a late switch up here as Dread goes to his favorite.
Okay, so we'll be the Elise. So something still quite aggressive. We've seen several Elises pop off during this tournament so far. Do they go for the Gragas?
Also, I do want to say sorry to all of the goats out there. It's a female sheep, obviously, that's a U.
Oh, okay.
Spelled E-W-E. U is also a tree.
You're
I don't know
right.
whether I specified.
I spelled the tree way.
You spelled it. I was like, I'm pretty sure I didn't spell it.
You know what? It turns out that when you put us together, you get a collective idiot.
Yeah, you do. Idiot times idiot is apparently actually more idiot. It's two negatives making
it's just like multiplying one by
negative.
one. You still just end up with the same thing.
Yeah,
You're still just idiots. There's no cross cancellation or anything
Hey, at
like
least
that.
we understand the unit measurement of an idiot is just one.
We got that down, Pat.
Yeah,
but hey, we have the Kiana, as you mentioned, and then the Rumble locked in for Hanwha Life, and a Varus will be the final pick for Afreeca in the first half.
Yeah, and this will be Jelly's, I believe, 4th Braum game, which is a little bit unfortunate. We've spoken about the lack of skill expression on this champion. There are some players that tend to make it work, and if you play the hyper-aggressive Braum, where you're constantly standing behind your melee minions to try and get in there with the passive proc, things like that, that can be cool, but it is a little bit more limited, less exciting to watch anyway. It's not like there's a Pyke being locked in or anything like that. But
you're saying Braum is a dishonest champion.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
I'm learning. We can trade jobs now. Don't you worry. I already have an iconic line in the Overwatch world.
You do?
Yeah. I'm not going to repeat it. It makes me embarrassed. As the Quinn going to be taken away here from KeSPA once again, despite there not being a Yuumi to pair with it to make it that absolutely awful combo that we saw employed to perfection by Hanwha Life.
Well, even then, also just you can see the Renekton ban coming in from Hanwha Life in reflection of that Quinn ban, so making sure that they don't try to snatch that up for the top lane on the side of the Afreeca Freecs. Final ban for them.
Yeah, that's sort of the answer, yeah. As that's Pantheon. Haven't seen like too much of the Pantheon. Actually, haven't seen it locked in yet, but have seen a few scattered bans of this champion, and a lot of players picking up the newly changed Pantheon. Proud of you, by the way, for not calling it Kale this time around.
Thanks.
You are more than welcome. And I almost made that mistake as well when I first saw it. It's just very different. And we're very used to the Pantheon face because he's been around a really long time.
Yeah, it's very clearly a Spartan. This is kind of like a helmet with with a glow going off the top. So you think, you know, angelic glow gleaming off the helmet. I think
kind of looks like a Velodrome helmet to me. A little bit. It's like, oh, is that Cyclist Kale that's been banned? Not going to be the case. Is Lehens thinking about Rakan, which would be interesting, and in fact has locked it away already. So just going to add to the extra engage available. Certainly a lot of knock-ups, a lot of control available for Hanwha, but not a lot of range as the Zoe for Fly is locked in. Last time he played this champion, it was an MVP performance, and the horse cantering towards the top lane for Sir Keen. I don't know whether he's been knighted, but I just felt like saying Sir Keen because, you know, knights tend to ride horses, and that's what Hecarim is. It really is 1 AM, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, sorry about that, Achilles.
104.
Yep.
In fact, I mean, we're less than 24 hours away from having the 2019 KeSPA Cup in 2020.
Hey, that's true. Wow. Real close. If we had the same thing happen like tomorrow night that happened tonight, then we could actually just have a New Year's Eve party. Sorry, a New Year's Day, like welcoming the day sort of party situation. Because, of course, it is already a New Year's Eve party because it's already New Year's Eve.
It is already New Year's Eve.
Wow, I feel like I was doing okay in Game 1, but things have really taken a dive.
It's all right. We can always request another coffee here for you, Max.
Thank you very much.
As we get ready to jump in for game number 2, see if Afreeca will be able to close things out with a 2-0, or if you and I truly are on the night shift.
Yeah, the morning shift, one could say. We'll be able to go pick up a Macca's breakfast after this, or something like that, as all of our Australian friends watching at approximately 2 AM, I believe, their time, will be able to be with us on as KeSPA Fly. Let's see how we go as we move into game number 2. I'm alive. Hana, do set.
I'm alive fighting. Afreeca! 1, 2, set!
Afreeca fighting! Thank you. I don't know why, like, because it's different people doing the chant.
Yeah.
I don't know. We just sort of follow along from what
it's
they're
always
doing.
just like a high-pitched one or a low-pitched one. That's just what we got. We truly have vocal range.
Yeah, and we certainly have ran out of ideas. So I think that, you know, if we're wasting it on the fan chants, really that's not where the brain power belongs. We've certainly got to ration it at this point in the evening. So Lahens grandly entered the enemy jungle. Will now maneuver his way around, try and find himself an Itsy Bitsy Spider, who is spotted on that ward. Tempt is here as well. We'll see what information is being held by all of these players as KeSPA sneaks in.
Just going to be scanning with a spider. Won't really be able to find anything.
Ships in the night at this point. Lahens is going to back very deep in enemy territory. No ward on the camp of that Brambleback, so still not a lot of information gained, and you saw the defense that Mystic and Jelly put up of their blue side jungle, so still not a lot of information about Dread's start on this Elise.
And a better ward placement overall for Afreeca down below the Raptors. Be anticipating hard to come down to that side, so pretty much certainly going to be gaining vision of him unless he goes for a top side invade after taking the blue buff.
That was a really sneaky harpoon there from Tempt. As the pesky minion blocks the paddle star that Fly throws towards this Rumble, as the minion waves finally do meet here in the mid lane. And looking at the matchups, Kilios, the Aatrox versus the Hecarim feels relatively farmy to me. I think this was actually a matchup that we saw Doran play into an Aatrox as well earlier on in the tournament.
I don't know if I would say that he played it. Doran was present.
He got ganked in that matchup a few times.
And then some other things happened as well. It wasn't a good showing for Hecarim fans nor Doran fans.
I mean, Dragon X still won the game.
They did. It was just a very rough time for both he and Kushik.
Well, Keen, so far, he's shoved an entire minion wave towards this outer turret top lane, and now it's KeSPA going to even up the CS by farming out all of those minions. Very deep invade, but the vision is going to be there. Spots out Keen, moving on down. One of the cool things about Hecarim that hasn't changed in quite a long time is his ability to take teleport and ignite instead of any flashes, as Dread thinking about coming in for a gank on the top lane.
KeSPA is aware of this, so Dread just going to start pushing forward. We'll have the minions on him, so chip damage going to be coming out.
Infernal Chains do
about it.
Oh dear. Despite the fact that he didn't die, there's a lot of minions that just did to the turret. KeSPA denied a lot of experience here. Knock up bottom lane.
They're still sticking around up top.
If at first you do not succeed, try again. Good double knock up though.
Push their way out. Repel's going to be coming down, looking for KeSPA. Will be able to find the first. Blood's actually going to be Keen claiming that one, but they managed to burn the spider with fire, as you're supposed to do in all cases if you have arachnophobia. Tempt now overheating, will be able to finish off.
Do you do the same thing for horses?
Lane. No.
Okay.
But Tempt gets a double kill on the Rumble. Meanwhile, that's going to be the engage here into the bottom lane from Lahens. Just getting a cheeky little knock up, trying to chip away at Jelly and Mystic as much as possible, but already a much better start for Hanwha lane.
Yeah, fantastic. Able to be ahead in the kill score. Remember, we were talking about Afreeca being on track for a perfect game around the 15-minute mark. And now KeSPA's moved towards the mid lane to at least cover for Tempt as he makes his way back. Now Lahens, you know, procs that passive there bottom side, just waiting for Lava to re-attend this lane towards bottom side. Looks like he's not going to go for any of those Doran's Blade shenanigans that we've seen so much of from Misfortune players. I think it's about 4 that you can afford to pick up in the early game just to make sure you dominate that lane. As we check out the replay, this double knock-up from KeSPA was certainly pivotal in making this work.
Yeah, I mean, they feel like that they can go for this because of the potential reset on the tower aggro with the repel, but Tempt arrives, he's already got the heat prepared, so it's just melting them, no pun intended. And there's just nothing that Keen can do. He's completely out of mana, so Tempt just burns him down. Meanwhile, back up top, Keen getting jumped on.
Yep, he just canters away though, and Mystic is being flashed on here. Once again, things going well for Hanwha live. Flashes forward from everyone as now Jelly getting chased down. Even the Gleaming Quill landing. The Piercing Arrow not quite enough damage. Dread.
Now trying to roam his way down, but no one's really taken much damage, so this early in the game at least not going to have the best execute here, especially since Hen still has a pretty decent amount of mana. Lava's but I feel like this would still be a bit wanting for Dread. Mystic has returned, so maybe they try to make a play now that he is back in the lane. In the meantime, Keen is just having a rough time.
Oh, such a dangerous back timing, and Lava is absolutely punished. No mana at all, and Mystic picks it up with an empowered Q. Repel to get out, just a mistake but not an understanding of exactly where that spider was, so unfortunate for Lava.
I just think, you know, if you're going to recall right there, you might as well take 5 more steps back, go to the tower, just keep yourself that much safer. If you don't have any information of where the enemy Elise is, you see the ADC coming back into the bottom lane, you should have some kind of idea that he could be on that bottom side of the map and that you will in fact die. So a little bit of laziness, we'll say, from Lava there, not strutting his way back over to the tower, and does cost him his life.
Yeah, well, Onslaught of Shadows used to move Cuvée back under the turret, but doesn't quite get him there. The fear from the World Ender and the pullback from the Infernal Chains. Not quite enough, and Keen gets himself underneath the turret. Lava's here somehow, and Haru not going to die to that turret. Lehens turns up, and it looks like these plates are going to be eradicated and moved to a very different cabinet. His Tempt was roaming up as well. That would have been 5 members in the top lane, and Keen's feeling mighty ganged up on.
Yeah. So, already, it's going to be that 4-2 start here for Hanwha Life. Trying to get to that 1,000 gold lead. Going to be eluding them so far as we take a look at down to the bottom side of the map.
Yes, replay of what went wrong earlier on in this one. Mystic getting chased down towards the end, and just a lot of damage that Lava was able to provide.
Yep. Push forward, the flash is in. Lava able to find that kill. Did eventually get taken out as Jelly was barely able to escape with his life intact. Tower takes a ton of damage, just going to be that last plate really remaining here. So in danger of having that first turret fall pre-10 minutes there for the Afreeca Freecs. Now pushing forward, seems like they're trying to find Haru, get a catch on him. Plenty of CC between the Elise and the Braum, but Haru is well up into the top side of the river where it seems like Hanwha Life after game 1 has just gone into full attack Keen mode.
Yeah, they're trying to shut him down. Keen was an absolute menace in game number 1. You may as well make him a non-factor in game 2. So far, working out a treat as these plates all go over. Of course, not worth quite as much as they used to, but still pretty good. Grand entrance underneath the turret.
Just a bit of extra harassment here. Not going in for a full commitment yet, as Haru will just be taking away the Krugs. They don't want to go for a dive. So we'll just go ahead and leave Keen to his own devices. But they've already opened up a very nice CS lead here for Cuvée. Keen pushing forward. And okay, just waiting out that timer.
Letting people go home because he just wants some time with this minion wave. Jelly's moving on up, and much later Mystic will arrive here as well. So it looks like they are in position to try and contest for Shelly. Potentially, Cuvée over here will try and defend this outer turret. And finally, we have some normalcy as far as where people are, apart from a pesky Braum waiting up towards the top side. Dread is going to take this Cloud Drake, and with the rest of his team milling around Shelly's area, it won't be an answering Rift Herald after that first neutral is taken here from the Afreeca Freecs. So nice coordinated play here from these guys.
And now roaming up, so Rift Herald will be started. This is the Eden Vision, so that's why everybody's roaming up through the river, just to give some added protection for the Hecarim, as he so desperately needs it right now.
Yeah, shout out to Mystic here, who's been able to stay ahead in farm, despite whenever we look down there, him being at the mercy of this Misfortune's pretty important damage. Because that's a trouble bubble. Oh dear, Lehens almost just popped.
Ignite burned as well, looking for that finish, but Jelly not really able to get in there in time, and of course the Rakan is very elusive, so just goes ahead and slithers his way out of there.
Even more dangerous, actually. Often the Rakan will take the Guardian, which would have helped him stay alive there, but does have the Aftershock available, so... And just slightly off on the amount of damage available, and with just a lost chapter, you wouldn't expect the Zoe to be one-shotting, but a bit of a snapshot as to what we can expect from Fly as the mid-game rolls around. Currently still in early-game territory. And it's actually really cool. Both of these champions excelling in the mid-game as far as the mid lane is concerned, for different reasons. Tempt's Equalizer is so pivotal in those mid-game fights around objectives, and Fly just so frustrating, controlling areas of vision that Afreeca will have in that mid-game with the Trouble Bubble, which is so pesky.
For now, will just be some normalcy, as you said, slowing things down a bit, as Haru is just going to be picking up this Scuttle Crab.
Ouch.
Cuvée goes for that attempted gank here in the mid lane, manages to get the flash out from Fly.
Yep, the real flash, of course, can be very confusing with the old Zoe, but good pickup of the fact that it was the real flash and not a counterfeit one. Cocoon, Lehens, Battle Dance available. He'll be fine.
Yeah, Mystic a little bit too far away, even with the piercing arrow, so not looking to collapse in onto that. As Keen will just be roaming down to clear out some added vision here for Fly to keep him safe on the Zoe.
Yeah, sort of returning the favor. QV makes a visit, as does Keen, however, not able to get any flashes out of Tempt or anything like that. QV, a couple of Doran's Blades just to keep him healthy in this lane, and now building towards that cooldown reduction that the Aatrox loves so much. Keen dashing around underneath this turret, as a horse loves to do. And QV just trying to get that harassment in, but it is going to get to a point, especially after that Trinity Force is complete, where this horse can really make some issues happen in these side lanes, especially if he gets some solo time with the turret. Being able to proc the Trinity Force on command, no matter what's going on, is certainly going to be a very strong part of this Hecarim's kit, not to mention being able to flank, much like Keen is very known for, into the backline of a team fight with the Onslaught of Shadows. Dread here, Shelly in hand. Or in hands. As both of them are glowing. Haru now in position, but it is a 2 versus 3. Who strikes first, Achilles?
We're waiting. The Roam's still coming up. The Rumble now going to be joining in. So this is going to be all 5 going through as the Infernal Chains do come down. Haru showing himself.
Yeah, Dread looking for the cocoon, will find it as there's the Onslaught of Shadows. Haru, oh no, 1 away from a stun, but he's surviving for so long, and Jelly has to go golden to avoid the damage. Bullet time is huge as Jelly's able to escape for a moment, but Lava finishes it off. Almost a triple kill for the Misfortune, but he might be able to make it happen here as Mystic is running as fast as his little legs can carry him. The flash forward, and he can't get out of the chains. Boom goes the Dynamite, and Lava grabs that extended triple kill that we were looking for. And speaking of looking for things, were you looking for 3 games?
I tweeted out before I had even headed to the studio, Atlas, saying that this was going to be a 3-game series, and right now that is the pace that we are certainly on. Hanwha Life exploding forward, and Afreeca just weren't ready for it. They thought that they had the jump on QV, but it was completely the other way around, with near 5 members joining in at the start. Then the TP comes through to go ahead and complete that. Equalizer laid down, cutting them off away from the tower so they cannot retreat. The bullet time layered on top as well. So they just completely trapped them in a death chamber. And they were very easily able to chase forward to get the finishing blows.
Yeah, the tower navigation as well from Lahens at the end there, just making sure that everyone could just freely run underneath that turret to try and destroy the Varus on his retreat. Really nice stuff here from Hanwha Life. Feels like they've woken up finally. It was Afreeca that were able to demonstrate their alertness in game number 1, but now caught napping in a few occasions.
Afreeca also just demonstrating the long-standing curse surrounding them.
Yeah, exactly.
Being excellent in game 1s.
It's a returning curse. They didn't quite have that one in the 2019 season, but with the return of Achilles is the return of the Afreeca Freecs that we know and love.
It skips a generation, you know?
Oh, that's
2019 season was that generation being skipped.
Yeah.
So.
It's like certain hair colors and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Nice, another double knockout there from QV. Seems like second time's the charm when it comes to champion picks here for our veteran on the top side of the map. QV looking much better here. Second outing.
Another
Infernal Rift again.
Yep.
Rift again.
Go ahead and come through, open up the map a bit. Dread just trying to clear out this vision, but here comes QV from behind.
Yeah, great knock-up. Infernal Chains are going to arm as well, but now Mystic's here. Maybe a little bit of an overstep as the CC is going to be available. The quickness does some work like you're talking about. The Equalizer going to burn Jelly down, but not all the way as now Fly thrown back into the wall with a supreme display of talent, and Haru going to answer back from what Spirit did in game 1 very nicely here at 14.5 minutes.
Yeah, just like that, spun back onto its head, so lose out on QV, but still managed to find Fly. Still fantastically done here for Hanwha Life. So they maintain control of this game. 4.2 thousand gold in the lead now over top of Afreeca, and they got the second Drake, so they tie up that figure as well. We'll take a look at the start, and QV, you know, thinking that he's going to be able to get the pinch here, but a lot of CC does come through, but at the same time, that's kind of just Afreeca using everything that they have to secure a kill onto that Aatrox. He tries to get Tempt, cannot do it. And Haru just drags him back in, ensures that there is no escape whatsoever for the Zoe. Flash still not yet off cooldown, just now going to be available for Fly. Had he had that, likely could have lived, and it made that a 1-for-0 in their favor, but instead does get taken down.
Yeah, 4,000 gold is now going to be the lead, as I believe this is Shirley coming out. First one taken from the Afreeca Freecs, so the twins will be split up this game and turned against one another. Quite a dramatic storyline here for the Rift Heralds of the game. Freecs trying to hold on to this outer turret in the mid lane. Not everything lost just yet, and 4,000 gold is surmountable. However, it will be a difficult calling, especially given what this composition is want to do, right? Yep. It is going to be more of that DPS focus on the Varus. He will have a lot of damage potential as this game goes on, especially as far as raw damage is concerned. But you're not necessarily going to have one of these clear-cut, we have the scaling advantage, apart from maybe something like a Hecarim that can be such a problem if it gets into a late game scenario in a team fight against a Misfortune, which is quite stationary after she first gets landed on. He's just trying to get himself to a point of relevance. On the horse.
Well, he's got about 2.5 minutes to do so, but Hanwha Life still looking to accelerate the pace of this game while some of the Rift Herald here into the mid lane, and got Tower gonna take a big old chunk of damage. Minion Wave moves up. They have Lava here, so they should be able to finish this one off unless Afreeca can pull the trigger on an engagement, but they're not going to be able to find the opportunity as KeSPA is just keeping Keen locked off, and that's what they want. They want that onslaught coming through from the side, have that Hecarim get into the back line, lock down the likes of Lava and Tempt, but they just cannot do it because it's just really good gatekeeping coming through from the Aatrox.
You can see Mystic really wants to play aggressively here as the double up not able to find the Varus, but he's got his Arctic Ops gear on. He's ready to take down some Hanwha Life players, but just not quite there.
I think he's just getting prepped for the weather outside.
Yeah, well, that would certainly make some sense. Keen rampaging down here. Haru unseen for now. He does get the W off. Knock up not going to come in at least the first time around. Second time the charm. But the cantering horse is going to be able to escape quite nicely.
Yeah, no further minions there for Hanwha Life, so a bit too risky. Try to stick around and go for that extended dive, knowing that the ultimate is also available for him. So they do just go ahead, peel back a little bit as the tier 1 tower should be taken down. No, they're going to go ahead and pull back, it would seem, as they do get the word that people are missing in the mid lane. Nope, they play forward.
Yeah, greeting for it just a little bit as the equalizer comes down. Dread on the wrong side of it. They're trying to turn this one onto Tempt, but he's so strong. The repel not enough until the very end, where he's able to get that last auto attack, but it's still a double kill for the Misfortune. 7, 1, and 0. This is like a competition. Who's the most busted? Is it Lucian or is it Misfortune? And so far, I think Lucian probably takes the cake, because there's the Onslaught of Shadows, and that's a very dead Misfortune.
You would expect, but here comes Rakan.
Okay, stand behind me there from Jelly. They still want to take down Lava, but a bit of a disconnect with the communication, and Lava with his strut just struts his way out of there. Lehens might not be surviving for much longer, though, as Mystic throws out the ultimate, barely misses the backside of the Rakan.
They're fine. Haru's coming in now.
Yeah, we're looking to extend this trade even more. It's a flanking play from Hanwha Life as Haru waiting for Tempt to get there. Tempt not with the equalizer just yet, so it'll keep them honest. But the harpoons are going to land. Try and keep Jelly there. And there is the Glacial Fissure. Grand entrance onto Lehens, who's controlling this fight for so long. 1 for 1, but it's Mystic that falls down. So much of that consistent damage. Now dead on Afreeca's side. They're waiting for Fly to turn up. They're waiting for this Zoe to get here, as the Paddle Star is going to miss, and that might be go time for Hanwha. KeSPA unable to get that first knock up, as this team fight is going for absolutely forever.
Hanwha needs to leave, though. Fly, he's got so much damage, he's got so much mana, and they are all on slivers of HP. Right now, hiding in the alcove, and there's nowhere to go. KeSPA has to play up to the front, but he's got no HP. Full time, however, does come through. Lava on the backside helps cut them down. Infernal Drake going to be picked up by Dread in the meantime. But who gives a damn? Hanwha Life is just sweeping the floor with the Afreeca Freecs right now.
Yeah, Dread's just saying, why are you guys fighting? I'm taking the dragon, guys. You know, I'm just hanging out over here. I'm not even there. Oh, man.
Oh, dear.
Bit of a disaster for the Afreeca Freecs, but the positioning of Lava to get that beautiful bullet time, and the fact that they waited long enough for Tempt to get a second equalizer in the fight.
So well done by Hanwha Life. I thought they needed to hightail it out of there. It was looking so dangerous for them, but Lava having enough mana to get that bullet time up just helps cut them down, and that was the additional bit of damage that they needed. We'll take a look at the rest of this as Tempt arrives.
Yeah. He does land some decent harpoons, but as you can see, he doesn't have the red carpet to lay down or anything like that, and it's a great ultimate coming out from Jelly to hold everyone in position, but look at that, just the move forward, destroying the consistent damage, and now Afreeca are at the mercy of Hanwha Life until Fly gets here, but Paddlestar missing.
It was such a dangerous dance. Had that connected, that could have been a significantly different fight. This could have very much been Afreeca being able to get the victory. You see Lava just dancing around the back. looking for that setup, in fact, on the bullet time, just waiting for them to get stacked up. And as soon as that Infernal Chain Pool comes in, he unloads with it. And the ult is enough, and the auto attacks go very well cut through a squishy Zoe. So they are able to clean that one up 15-5.
Yeah, it's like the same game as last game, but on the other side.
Yeah.
It's like change the sides of the map, but nameplate's also going to be very different. So just shows Hanwha not going to be going down without a fight, and showing us just how they were able to take down KT. Not necessarily convincingly, but they were the winners of that series, and that's all I want to remember. As the Baron now being looked at 21.5 minutes into this game. 6,000 gold is the lead. Hanwha do have complete vision control of this area. With the Infernal Rift, it means there are a lot of angles that Afreeca can approach this pit. And Hanwha not wanting to start off any Barons or anything like that just yet, especially not with QV towards the bottom side. Able to apply that pressure without Hanwha actually doing anything, as Dread's going to face check, and I have a feeling he's just going to die. And he did.
A regular profit right there, Max.
Yep, same thing possibly going to happen as the bullet time flies forward, but thankfully Unbreakable is available for Jelly. Still took a lot of damage, but not enough to kill the Braum. But now, without a jungler, Hanwha Life feels like they are able just to take down Freecs. Oh, sorry, take down the Baron buff right in front of the Freecs.
Yeah, I mean, barring a miracle still here from Afreeca, can't really go for a fight on this, you would anticipate.
Yeah, make it rains in. I could imagine that possibly a team fight. Onslaught of Shadows is available as Fly looks for the burst damage, but Haru is going to be able to get there. The equalizer, the double knock up, the bottom lane obliterated in the blink of an eye as now Fly trying to run away from QV, but he lands that one. The sidestep on the bubble. QV's woken up, everyone. Gets the flash, but the blast cone is available, and Dread makes it out of the death chamber. He's not going back in just yet, and he's able to protect his mid laner for now.
But now they can just cut straight up the mid lane. They get the first tower. We'll see how far they want to push this. They've got plenty of wave clear with the Rumble, with the Misfortune, so should be at least an inhibitor going over to Hanwha if they want to keep playing up. Mystic, however, is going to be respawning in 6 seconds, so it might be safer to pull back, and it seems like that will be the call. Try and just get ready for that Infernal Dragon that's going to be spawning in 1 minute and 15 seconds. So not going too crazy. They've got that 10k gold lead. They have the Baron buff for a while. They don't want to get overzealous and throw this away. They want game 3.
Yeah, and they're looking like they're going to get it as well pretty comfortably as we have a look at the replay. Really nice layering of damage with the equalizer. Tempt's Rumble has just been a joy to watch so far this game. Feels like he's the man that's been able to bring the new meta towards us, you know? Debuting the Nocturne here in the KeSPA Cup, as well as really piloting this new flavor of Rumble mid lane here as well. Certainly have seen it a few other times, but Tempt certainly having the biggest pop-off thus far. Trying to ignore Lava with his 9-1-4 scoreline as the equalizer once again going to come down. Mystic almost half of his health bar. Going to be eradicated as Keen is here, but it's a good stopwatch that's going to come down. Good knock-up as Haru doesn't find the damage with the Supreme Display of Talent, as maybe this is it, but no. 2 of the damage dealers have gone down. Dread having to flash to get the hell out of there as QV still has a full health bar.
Yeah, gets that arrival and then turns that fight on its head. It was looking so good. It was looking like maybe this was the moment that Afreeca could actually get back into the game, get set up to pick up their 3rd dragon, but not going to happen, not this time. Dread does manage to escape back into the base. Haru now just starting off that Infernal, and this will be 2nd drink taken for Hanwha Life. So still a ways away from that Dragon Soul, but so very far apart is the gold values here for either team.
Yeah,
48,000 to 37.
Yeah, this is a blowout.
38 to be fair.
Yeah, 10k gold leads. Nothing to scoff at as we have a look at this fight. And like you were talking about, it was Afreeca looking like they may have found the fight that they were looking for, but it's about 10 minutes too late. Because now the wallets of this Hanwha Life squad are just way too heavy. You saw QV really put his back into that particular front flip as he just took the horse to the glue factory.
Oh dear.
Yeah, those references coming out again. Yeah, oldies but goodies. And speaking of which, oh man, how much glue can come out of this guy? Nope, not today. Yeah, someone called Peter in the nick of time, as this inner turret also going to be taking a lot of damage. Lava going to finish that one off.
Who's Peter?
You know that's how you spell my mum's name? P-E-T-A? Yeah. She also likes animals, so it does
just the Aussie R going on the back end of it.
Yeah.
Deaver.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's all good. Keen, he can't really do much. And as far as I feel about Lucian, it's still kind of inconclusive because I'm not sure if Hecarim's bad and Lucian's good.
Well, I mean,
Keen's just,
Doran
Keen's
also,
very good, but Hecarim's so bad that Keen can't perform on it.
There must be a reason why they're picking it. It must be working in scrims, but it's not working in this game. That is something that is absolutely proven.
Yeah.
As 26 minutes in, we've got a 12,000 gold lead. We've got inhibitors just being shepherded by this Hanwha Live squad. And playing with your food is an understatement.
Yep, just looking to take down the second inhib, which they will easily be able to do. Minion Wave is moved up in the bottom side if they wanted to try to rotate down and get the tier 2. They can go ahead and clear out some of the vision along the way, and it seems like that will be the play as the pings do come through. Blue buff can also be stolen.
Yeah, may as well. When in Rome. And Lava down here going to join in, and he's going to be a lot of this damage that's going to help destroy the bottom inner turret. Finally, reset does come through as the Baron buff wears off. Death's Dance already completed here for QV. We'll see what he builds next as the Trouble Bubble lands, but there is no follow-up available with Bodyguard. QV standing there on his Aatrox. Burning face for Tempt, man. He's got a lot of damage. 2 sticks as well. This is what happens. If you're scared you're going to drive your car way too hard, that you're going to break the shift, you may as well just get 2 of them. That's my analogy for what happened there. Just flat AP being picked up, and that's what happens when you're right at the end of a game and all you want is flat stats to really bring it home. Not going to need to plan for the future too much as far as this game is concerned, but certainly going to have to look forward to game number 3.
And the only future planning that Hanwha needs to do right now is just this. It's cleaning out the vision. It's making sure that they can go ahead and pick up that Baron when it spawns in 45 seconds. And then the Infernal 2 minutes later. Yeah. So their path is very much laid out for them. Afreeca's is as well, but it's significantly more negative.
Yeah, it's not the kind of path that you want laid out for you.
Yeah.
Which is sometimes just the case. Sometimes life is going to give you lemons or losses in the KeSPA Cup.
I think Afreeca would happily take lemons over what is happening right now.
Yes. Yeah. I actually quite like lemons.
Yeah.
Personally. I'd take lemons just if you offered them. I find that analogy actually quite frustrating as a lemon advocate. Make it rain. Certainly doing that here in the mid lane is QV. Trying to offer a knock-up over the wall. Doesn't get there. And now Hanwha looking to move back towards this Baron pit. And Afreeca, they observe a lot of darkness on that route through the jungle.
So there you go, Baron. Just going to be started up as Lehens will be bodyguarding in the back. Recall out from Keen. He does have the TP available if they want to go for the play, and he's got a deep ward up near the enemy blue buff, but it's not going to be nearly in time as the Baron will go ahead and die.
Yeah, no blue trinkets available, and Hanwha just easily take their second Baron of the game. 13,000 gold now is the lead. The gold's something you probably don't need to talk about.
Nope.
We're play-by-plays, so we like talking about it. Because, you know, it's what we do. Analysts, they look at the minimap. We look at all the pretty lights and the numbers so that we can read them out.
Yeah, we don't know what any of it means.
No, of course.
Talk about it.
That's not what we're about.
That number is bigger.
Yeah.
That's 58, and the other one's 45, so they're doing good.
Yeah, and we say things like, despite the dragons being even, because we can count the pictures as well.
You're right.
Yeah, see? Well, actually, we don't give ourselves enough credit.
And the pictures are color-coded for us.
Yeah. Oh, thank goodness. Afreeca leading 1-0. I wonder how I figured that out. Oh, just extraordinary. Can you believe 8 turrets have been taken by Hanwha Live? I can. I've been watching this game.
I definitely can. Yeah. And now they're looking for a 9th.
And
pushing here.
That's going to be here, isn't it? This inhibitor turret. As now looking for that last fight of the game, Achilleos.
Gage comes through. Like Fisher not really going to be able to find much as Jelly has to try to retreat. Dread will get picked off in the end. Tempt able to finish him off, and it's just going to be a pile in from all of Hanwha Live. Fly not going to be able to escape. Will go golden for a moment, and Keen cannot push QV far enough to try and knock him into the fountain. Will just be the finish here as the bullet time will chip away at the pony, but he finds a nice little safe corner in the stable so he can elude Lava. Chase forward again. They're hungry for it. They want that 25th kill. Seems like they might not be allowed to find it unless they're going to go all in onto the fountain.
Yep, they did do that, but it's going to be the Nexus falling down a little bit too fast. The Fun Police It was one member of Hanwha Life who stayed auto-attacking that turret. However, that was basically the same as game number 1, but the nameplates were switched around. Really, really dominant performance from Hanwha Life. So we are going to have a 3-game series, but Achilleos, I know, it's very late right now. We're moving towards 1:35 in the morning here on New Year's Eve. However,
that's fine.
It's really fast.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to have a 3rd game. And look, in for a penny, in for a pound when it comes to late nights, and we've certainly already come well full circle.
Yeah, we are in this for the long haul. We had kind of said that even if we had to wait until 5 in the morning for the series to get started, we were going to be here. We were going to bring you guys that series, and we will see it all the way through to the very bitter end. Tempt here, going to be walking away with the MVP of game number 2. 6-1 and 11 in the Rumble was just phenomenal.
Yeah, can't debate that at all.
Yeah, fantastically done by him. I mean, a couple other names I guess you could have tossed out there. Everybody on Hanwha playing significantly better in this game. There's very ill-advised moments from Afreeca where it seems like they're just trying to shoehorn things together.
Yeah, and this is where it all went wrong, right? This was the early start every Rumble dreams of, because you were able to grab that advantage as far as the Magic Pen is concerned. So if you have sort of a lead in the early game, being able to pick those stats up is much easier, and it's at a time where Afreeca, it's just impossible for them to build enough magic resist to stop this Rumble from running over the mid game, and he certainly was able to do that. You saw up here though, I mean, Haru demonstrating the true display of talent, but actually just the true display of escape artistry, and Lava positioning his bullet times, actually this entire game, almost perfectly when it came to controlling areas of the map and splitting Afreeca so that Hanwha Life could just do whatever the heck they wanted.
Yeah, it was really great. I mean, Tempt, maybe like 1 or 2 that come to mind that were not the greatest equalizers, but overall, fantastic placement, constantly laying them down, either cutting people off or laying it where they cannot escape from it, so they just got ripped to shreds by that Rumble ult. So it was really great. This was, of course, Lava's grand moment with that, with that bullet time. So fantastically done, utilizing the new alcove.
And normally you walk up a red carpet and then there's like a premiere of a cool movie. That was the Death Chamber.
This was the red carpet into hell.
Yeah, it's not a great one. I guess that carpet would be red also.
Yeah, you would expect. But what if it's not? What if it's all green?
That's true. I mean, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't know.
Could be a little bit strange. But they were able to get the lead and they just never let go of it. So Hanwha Life, like you said, complete 180 on game number 1. But now the question is, what happens in game number 2?
Exactly. Is it the color of the shorts or is it the momentum, Because so far it's been blue side dominating in both of the games. So perhaps if you're just wearing that clothing, you're going to be feeling pretty good. But ladies and gentlemen, after that 30-minute match, we are in for a 3rd. So we're going to go for a short break, and when we get back, the deciding game between Hanwha and Afreeca Freecs.
the battlefield, dominate your competition with the infrared beam. And if that's not enough, experience real rapid-fire action with the Gel Bead Blaster. With the included interactive curriculum, anyone can learn how to code, teach it to move, recognize shapes, and a whole lot more.
안녕하세요.
The Lion,
The Tiger
장민철입니다.
크리템입니다.
랭수들의 식사 시간이라는 이런 타이틀을 걸고 만나게 됐는데 이런 캐스파컵이라는
상이 차려져 있잖아요. 이름도 약간 캐스파 컵바. 캐스파 컵도 해설 안 하신다고 들었는데 맞아요?
못하죠? 네. 사고를 한번 쳤어가지고.
그래?
껌이에요, 껌! 아프리카 프릭스 만나보도록 하겠습니다.
팀은 일단 다른 거보다 좀 외모가 엄청나다는 게 또 호평이 많아요.
아,
무기 좋다.
3명?
몇 명을 딱
네?
정하지 마요 그렇게.
화제가 된 선수들이 실제로 3명이었어가지고
무기 좀
룩이 좋다, 보기 좋은 떡이 맛도 좋다. 유명한 셰프가 또 다시 들어왔어요. 완전 탑 셰프.
유명한 셰프가 별로 없는 것 같아.
그건 맞아요. 하도 이 롤판이 오래되다 보니까 경력들이 다 높아.
다들 이제 커리어도 있고
커리어가 있어서 어떻게 보면은 레스토랑 오너에서 약간 주방장으로 내려온 최연성 감독이 있고요. 그다음에 그때 탑솔로 한때 저희를 이제 국몽에 취하게 만들었던
약간 아프리카 프릭스 그룹의
네.
실력파 메인 보컬이라는 말이 나와요.
그렇죠. 프랜차이즈 스타. 최근에 또 이제 플라이, 미스티 영입에 성공하면서 재밌는 재료들이 선택이 됐어요. 근데 플라이라는 식재료는 조금 너무 호불호가 갈리는 식재료가 아니냐.
딱 그 말이 정확한 거 같아요.
네.
완전 극단적인 호불호.
홍어라든지 민트 초코?
그 너무 센 거 아니야?
아니 극단적인 홍보를 하면서요. 하와이안 피자나 민트 초코인데 이게 메타에 따라서 호가 되느냐, 아 요새는 또 메라 그래야 되는데 매불매가 매가 되느냐 불매가 되느냐 뭐 이런 미드라이너가 있기 때문에 이 식당은 조금 매니아틱한 그런 식당이 되지 않을까. 동물로 치면은 아나콘다. 아나콘다 괜찮을 것 같아. 이게 외래종이면서도
이게 맞는지 모르겠지만 근데 좀 세니까.
아니, 뱀이 일단 호불호가 되게 심하잖아요.
맞아. 그리고
네.
물소를 한 입에 먹잖아.
그렇죠. 누구든 한 입에 먹을 수 있는. 그리고 변온동물이잖아. 기본적으로 뱀은.
전문 용어 나왔어.
네, 현지화에 실패하면 죽을 수도 있기 때문에 그래서 저는 아나콘다 괜찮을 것 같습니다.
진짜 우리도 뱀은 잘 안 건드려요.
맞아요. 아나콘다.
그만큼 배 안 고프면
네.
지나가다가 그냥 물소나 잡아.
아프리카 프릭스의 순위 또 예상을 해봐야 되는데 저는 변온동물이다 보니까 극과 극일 것 같아요. 못하면 바로 탈락. 못하면 바로 탈락. 근데 잘하면 4강. 그만큼 얼마나 잘 잡아먹고 다니면서 소화를 빠르게 시킬 수 있느냐.
근데 진짜 말씀하신 거에 완전 동의하고 지금 당장 캐스파컵은 시간이 너무 짧아서 4강까지는 고점을 찍어도 좀 힘들지 않아요. 조금 고점만 낮추면서
8강 2라운드?
잘 되면
아프리카 프릭스의 키플레이어를 뽑아봐야겠는데 기인이라는 생각이 들어요. 사실 저번 서머 시즌 후반부에서는 우리가 봤던 기인보다 조금 아쉬웠던 모습?
오히려 어찌 보면 기인과 그러니까 아이들인데 기인만 그러니까 뭔가 다 비정상인데 기인만 너무 정상적인 그런 느낌도 있어요.
그래서 기인이 얼마나 비정상이 될 수 있을 것인가, 아니면 다른 선수를 정상으로 만들 수 있을 것이냐. 그러니까 이게 정상과 비정상이 기인 중심이기 때문에 우리가 나누는 거고, 과연 기인 선수가 얼마나 상대방을 찍어 누를 수 있을지도 한번 지켜봐야 될 것 같아서 키플레이어로 저는 선정하겠습니다.
네, 그럼 저 같은 경우는 간만에 우리 드레드 얘기하는 것도 좋은 것 같아요. 표식을 볼 때 느낌이 드레드였다는 생각도 들거든요.
그쵸. 이 선수 약간
맹수고 뭔가 변수 덩어리
그런 느낌이죠. 이제 뱀이 머리가 잘려도 물거든요. 드레드는 자기 목숨이 날아가도 상대를 물어버리는.
그러니까 너무 공격적이야.
그렇죠. 그런 느낌이 약간.
실수도 많긴 해.
내 목이 떨어져도 넌 물겠다.
그런 부분이 근데 부족한 부분이 많았어요. 그래서.
그렇죠. 이게 실제로 자기는 살면서 물어야 되는데.
그러니까 우리가
너무...
다 죽으면 어차피 안 되니까.
맞아요.
그래서 드레드가 이제 조금 내공이 쌓였으니까 이제는 뭔가 훨씬 더 섬세하게 잘해야 된다고요.
맞아요.
그래서 드레드 뽑겠습니다.
APK 프린스. 카카오 선수가 나가고 최근에 폴로리스 선수가 들어왔어요.
엄청 화제가 됐어요. 발차기 어쩌고저쩌고 하는데
그 발차기 하면 또 클텐. 네.
나는 앞발이.
그럼
진짜
네.
잘했던 선수잖아. 아니 지금도 충분히 잘하고.
맞아요. 네, 카카오가 나가면서 조금 맛이 밋밋해졌는데 플로리스라는 조미료가 딱 들어가면서 이게 팀의 색깔이 좀 한 단계 업그레이드된 그런 색깔이라고 생각이 듭니다.
전 그리고 APK 프린스는 익수를 정말 좋아해요. 익수가 좀 맛있어.
이게 약간 구수한 맛이 있죠.
우리 지금 컨셉이잖아, 컨셉.
네.
진짜 뭐 다른 애들가 아니라 익수 선수가 진짜 그 맛이 예측도 안 돼. 먹기 전까지. 여기 전체적으로 다 그래요. 미드 바텀도 그렇고.
네.
그러니까 절대 그냥 사냥당하지 않을 거야. 만약 사냥당하면 엄청 진짜 창의적이고 무슨 사고 칠지도.
오히려 이런 팀들이 좀 잘하던 팀들 입장에서 까다로운 상대.
그러니까
고슴도치 같은 느낌이랄까. 그냥 안 당하고.
아니면 약간 스컹크? 네.
스컹크? 그 너무 냄새나죠.
아니 닭이 무기가 있다는 거야. 그러니까 보기에 조금 그래. 좀 약해 보일 수 있더라도 만만하지 않아.
그러면 APK 프린스는 스컹크다.
우리도 못 건드리잖아요.
네, 건들기
네.
힘들죠.
우리 호랑이 사자 못 건드립니다. 이게 절대.
잘못 건드리면 내가 당할 수 있고
그러니까.
막상 먹을 건 많지는 않고.
그러니까.
네. 약간 스컹크 같은 팀이다. APK 프린스. APK 프린스 예상 순위 한번 또 얘기해볼까요?
이게 아무래도 지금 KeSPA 다양하게 출전하잖아요.
그렇죠. 지금 KG에서 챌린저스까지 챔피언스뿐만 아니라
솔직히 현실적으로 좋은 성적은 못 낼 것 같은데 맛은 한번 보여줄 거예요.
저는 LCK 팀 만나기 전까지는 이길 것 같은데 LCK 팀 만나면 조금 힘들 수 있다. 그래서 8강 한 명씩 뽑죠. 이 팀의 키플레이어. 저는 플로리스 새로 영입됐고 리신. 과연 이 리신이 벤이 될 것인가.
그리고 지금 리신 또 메타잖아요.
맞아요.
리신 너무 사기. 플로리스면 난 익수 그럼. 익수가 좀 맛있어. 익수 그리고 과감하게 발언 한번 해보자면 무조건 이상한 거 한 번.
한 번? 저는 3번 생각합니다. 특이한
뭔가 진짜 이런 거래?
일러오이 할 수도 있고.
아 진짜.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to KeSPA Cup 2019. This is the second time I've done this intro because I was so excited to get into Game 1. Game 3. Imagine if we went back to Game 1. I think the Stockholm Syndrome is well and truly setting in here as Spirit is back in again. Ring around the rosy.
Find some critical issue with the series. Let's restart it. Let's go back to Game 1.
Well, like if we just have a really long game, and I know you're pretty good at those.
Yeah.
We could probably just meld it into the next day's broadcast. You know, bring in Genji and T1. Yeah. Like, let's just keep the lights on.
Handoff to Brendan and LS.
Yeah, no need to warm anyone up. It's totally fine. Let's just get in there. Someone just go and, you know, set Faker's alarm or something like that. Get him out of bed.
We'll just have to find a way to clone the production staff before then.
Yeah, that's
these
true.
These guys are going to be running on fumes. But as we saw, we did have those substitutions coming through, especially on the side of Spirit coming back in. Doesn't seem like much of a surprise. We know that it's a bit of a set play for them to put Dread in for game number 2. But given that he didn't really get much done with that Elise, very hyper-aggressive, and the things that they did try didn't find success, unsurprising to go ahead and see that Spirit will be coming back through for the squad. Hanwha Life, though, can they pull off this reverse sweep in this best of 3? We're going to find out as we start off with the pick and ban, and yet again, unsurprisingly, it will be the Lucian taken away.
And side selection went over to Hanwha this time around. So they were games 1 and 3 by the looks of things, which is why they have stuck to the blue side. And that is pretty important, because our blue side has dominated so far this series. That is going to be Lucian and the Syndra taken away. Akali going to be the answer. A blue side ban this time around as we see what Afreeca is going to do. I definitely want them to ban different stuff. Which stuff that's going to be the real question here, as Cassiopeia is still denied from Lava. Of course, denied from Lava and Tempt. I think it's the flexibility of that pick that can be the real issue here.
And then Nautilus, the final ban here from the side of Hanwha Life for the first round. See what Afreeca wants to do to round things out, whether or not they want to try to take the Misfortune off the board. Lava had a very good game with that pick, and it will in fact be MF ban here at the end.
Yeah, I like that. Just definitely mix it up, make sure that something different is going to have to be picked. Having a look down the line as far as the power picks that are still left available, Elise is the choice here for Haru, certainly an old favorite for him. Was often picked into him because it was around the meta where the Rengar was so strong that Haru really made his name for himself. And it was often spiders and cats running around in the jungle. As Keen, what is going to be the first round of picks here? Could be just the Lovers duo. Something that Afreeca Freecs could do if they would like to. But Zai hasn't been seeing a lot of success, so I wouldn't be overly psyched about it. However, still going to happen.
One thing that was banned throughout the first two games that has made it through is the Yuumi.
Oh, true.
Without the MF, I'm not sure if the Yuumi is going to have as much pressure on it to be picked up because you like that little bit of Senshi, but we'll have to see.
The other thing is the Quinn is still around.
That is also true.
So that wombo combo of the Yuumi Quinn that Cuvée and Lehens made work so well, mostly Lehens, to be honest. It was more like Cuvée was just flying Lehens around.
They could go for that right now.
Tactical nuke, and that's exactly what I was bringing it up for. Let's see whether they do decide to just drop it immediately or whether they have some different technology to show us. Oh, Pantheon.
Okay. So has made it through, so we'll go ahead and pick that up. And I'm sure you guys can hear the Korean commentators in the background. Mouths agape at the moment as the Heimerdinger does come through for Lava again, who has been playing that one to a T.
Is it agape or is it agape?
Agape, the Overwatch player.
I love how this is an in-joke that absolutely no one is going to get.
There's that one guy on Twitter, though, who's very angry that we've talked about. We've made Overwatch references.
Yeah, he's really angry now.
And to you, I say, get over it, sir.
That was our friend Wolf. Wolf Schroeder, your co-commentator over in the Overwatch League.
Oh, not him. Someone genuinely was mad on Twitter
really? That
because
actually
I
happened?
made some Overwatch references in Game 1.
No. As okay, that's a Rakan locked in. So the Lovers duo, an understandable one. Some laughs coming out from the crowd here. I'm not entirely sure what the funnies were that were spouting out of our Korean casters that are still able to stay entertaining at close to 2 a.m. Huge shout out to those guys. And as you mentioned before, massive props to our production staff that have had so many issues to deal with and are still here working diligently on making sure that everything does come to fruition between Hanwha Life and the Afreeca Freecs. It is Morgana being taken away here just to make sure that the denial of the engage from the Rakan isn't super easy. Rumble going to be banned. Just a respect ban here on Hanwha's side. Tempt, of course, was the one that made it look so incredibly smooth. We'll see who's going to be piloting the Pantheon. Something Cuvé's been playing a lot in solo queue, but can, of course, be flexed around. Senna taken off the board here. And I believe, was that Senna Heimerdinger on the bottom side for Hanwha? And it worked. Maybe there was another support Senna that I'd forgotten about earlier on when I was talking about it.
Very well may have been, but it's too late now.
Yeah, it's not happening. And actually, no, it was, wasn't it? And that'd be quite a few times that Senna support has been locked in.
How about Yuumi and Heimerdinger?
That could be what's brewing here on the Hanwha side.
All those rockets flying out while you have the...
Oh dear, is this Fly with the Ornn technology? I know we've been seeing a lot of Fly on control mages so far this tournament, but we have to look back to what Fly was known for, which was crazy stuff. You know, he put in like 60 games on mid lane Rammus for some reason, like a year ago. We don't know why, because he never played it. I think he was just enjoying it.
I think it might be happening.
Yeah, I don't think there's any reason not to. Surprising that it wasn't banned, as there's the cat in a book locked in for the man who popularized it. Lehens on the bottom side of the map for Hanwha.
All right, so that and Heimerdinger, this is going to be such an annoying poke bot lane.
Think about the swag.
Get strapped in, Mystic and Jelly.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so Cuvée is going to confirm that it is most likely mid lane Pantheon. I had to hold my tongue there just a little bit because, of course, both of these champions can be flexed, but it is likely that Pantheon will be heading towards the mid lane and now Fly with an opportunity to either counterpick or be happy to take the Ornn into the matchup. And counterpicking for Keen is something that the Afreeca Freecs like to do, but putting Keen on a tank is something I really don't like, personally.
Well, I mean, I would have said the same for Chovy, but look at what he did with it.
Hey, that's a good point.
So, yeah, we'll be Keen with the Ornn, the Orianna in the mid lane for Fly to go up against likely the Pantheon. We'll see if they're going to flip around, as they do have 24 more seconds to do so before the comps are locked in.
And as it stands, I really like what Hanwha have done. I love Lava's Heimerdinger. He was brilliant on the pick the first time out and was able to really run over the top of the opposition. And Lehens now, with his Yuumi to back up the epic swag-walking Heimer on the bottom side. Imagine the Heimer with the zoomies. Oh man, he'll be so frustrating, but super cool to watch, I guess, as he just melts his opponents with all of his turrets that he'll have set up and able to reposition so beautifully with the extra movement speed, and as well being able to capitalize on the slow coming out from that prowling projectile. Lots of options, bottom side of the map. The Pantheon coming out for the first time here from Tempt in the mid lane. Fresh off an MVP performance. This could be Hanwha once again, a 3-game series towards the next round here in the KeSPA Cup.
Let's see if they can get it done. We are burning not the midnight oil, but the 2 a.m. oil here. It's 1:58 a.m. in South Korea. One of these teams going to be walking away with the victory. Let's find out who it is as we jump onto the rift for the final time this morning for Hanwha Life versus the Afreeca Freecs.
Hanwha, 하나 둘 셋.
Hanwha Life fighting. Where do I go after that? What do I do?
That's what I wanted to hear. Come on, mate. It's your turn.
Oh, gosh. Afreeca Freecs, 하나 둘 셋. Afreeca Freecs fighting.
I
don't know what accent that is, but it's an accent.
I knew I could try to do the accent, but my brain was trying to work out what it was first, and so I missed the start of the chant. I apologize.
I just didn't even worry about what it was. It just happened. It just came out of me.
It was good. I was into it. Okay, let's see how this early game is going to pan out. A very standard composition here from Afreeca. They've got the front line, they've got the initiation in the Ornn, and of course the Rakan, who can help with that initiation, despite not being necessarily a front line, as alcove turrets to come in here from Lava.
Yeah, Afreeca has the kind of composition that I'm used to seeing before all the mage bot stuff really started coming to fruition.
Yep.
So this is like the majority of my League of Legends career on the right, and then the left is just the nonsense that is taken over.
Yep. We've got like cats on books, weird engineers hanging out with them as well.
It's fun
Bottom
stuff.
lane, it's very, very strange.
I'm all about it, personally.
Plus, there's now a Pantheon, and he's quite different.
Yeah, that's very true.
It's like similar but different, you know? It still has the Grand Skyfall, just works a little bit more strangely now, and
he
you
slides
charge
in
up
more.
your Q. You've, you know, what was your reference earlier to the keeping you honest, or the honest gameplay?
Dishonest champions.
Yeah, so Pantheon's a little bit more honest now. You know, the Q is a skill shot. You can charge it up, do extra damage, things like that.
Wonderful.
I haven't played a whole lot of him, largely because he was on permaban status, and then we haven't seen too much of him so far. But a lot of the players here in the LCK and the KeSPA Cup now, of course, have been utilizing a lot of that. The Pantheon. Keen gonna build himself an item. Only has 3 CS, but still puts himself together a Doran's shield. As of course, so you can grab yourself, I believe, a control ward in the early game. Is something that we saw previously, but I don't know where he put it, to be honest. So maybe he didn't do that.
Yeah, don't see it anywhere on the map.
Yeah, where it went,
it's been cleared out.
It's like he built something. It's just confusing as to what it was. So Bellow's Breath is going to deny the pullback, but a lot of damage still here from Cube.
Yeah, that's kind of how these trades are going to go. Even if you can deny the CC, it's just more time that Cube is going to have to beat the crap out of you. Because you're not moving very quickly. Over the wall comes Spirit. Going to be able to find Haru.
Yep, goes invisible as Haru. Now trying to find the cocoon and does get it, but just gets himself the heck out of there as Tempt has jumped onto Fly. Throws up the shield there as well. Going to deny all of any return damage attempt that Fly didn't even go for. Good trade there for Tempt in mid.
Minor chip damage so far from Lava. As we begin, Haru's going to rotate down to the bottom side of the map. Do they actually want to go for a dive this early in? It's just 3.5 minutes. Level 3 not yet there for Ben. who of course has been subbed in. We had
oh, wow, okay. Yeah, there we
had
go.
the wrong name in the pick and ban overlay. Lava going to be throwing down those turrets, tosses out the rockets, trying to trade a little bit back, but it seems like this is just going to have to likely be the recall completed for Haru, as the minion wave's quite far away.
Yeah, we apologize for not picking up on that one. Of course, didn't get a graphic or anything like that. Mystic and Ben, old teammates from a couple of years ago, now reunited as that Cocoon is going to smash that minion.
Okay.
There's double teleports flying forward. Ben doesn't get the grand entrance, though. And now attempt down here, joins his friends, and leaves immediately.
It's going to be one of these games, Atlas.
It is feeling like one of these games. It's like both of the teams have decided to do the losing side of their respective losses, which is not so great. I would have preferred to see the other way for the high-level League of Legends, but it's still very early days in the game, very late days when it comes to the state of the broadcast. So you can understand some fatigue setting in here for these players. In fact, you could have understood it 6 hours ago.
It's all just in the eye of the beholder. This could be a very early state of the day as well.
That's very, very true. And given the internationality of our broadcast and our viewers, I'm actually quite unsure about when you started watching and what time it is now, but I imagine that the times of day have changed drastically quite a few times.
Yes, it has.
Yeah. In fact, Kilios was just enjoying a night at home and is now working and has been here for quite some time.
That's quite all right with me.
I appreciate it a lot, my friend. And,
no problem. Like I said, no one should suffer alone in those pause moments.
I appreciate you suffering with me here as the game has finally started progressing again.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not suffering at all. This is great. I'm normally up until like 5 in the morning anyway.
That's actually very, very true.
I stayed up all night last night playing Sea of Thieves.
You actually you rearranged my opinion of what a night owl actually means. Night owl doesn't mean night owl. Owls, in fact, it's an owl that's awake during the day, but it's after being awake the entirety of the night as well.
Yeah. And
then trying to work out whether to nap or have a real sleep and what an actual sleep schedule is.
Or it's a character in Watchmen.
Yeah, one of those. That's potential. That's not quite the reference that I was making. I do want to watch that show, though.
It's very good.
Haven't watched that one yet.
I very much enjoyed it. I think that fans of the graphic novel will also enjoy it as Cocoon connects in on the Spirit, but just going to be a little bit of harass.
Yeah, not a big deal. There's no Bella's Breath available there for Keen to get out of the Infernal Chains, and he's behind by a lot.
I would say read it for those who haven't yet watched Watchmen on HBO yet, but make sure you read the graphic novel first, otherwise you're not really going to know what's going on. The movie will also suffice, but there's a major plot point that is changed for the movie to make it a little bit more sense to a broader audience. That is not there.
The Watchmen movie was, I watched it without reading the graphic novel, and I found it quite difficult to follow, although it was quite a few years ago that one did come out. So maybe just not quite there.
Yeah, it's not quite like The Witcher where you can just kind of go into it and
I
basically understand what's going on.
The Witcher as well, I mean, there was a lot of criticism about it being difficult to follow, especially timeline-wise, without reading the books.
But that's not, that's more of a production mistake, I feel.
Yeah, maybe.
Rather than the actual story written.
Yep. Nothing making it truly obvious apart from certain characters being alive when they're theoretically not, and stuff like that.
So that's just more on the editing and writing a little bit, because obviously they wrote it with that timeline in mind, but I think it could have been conveyed a bit better.
Yeah.
But overall, just a fine series. I think it's just, a lot of people...
I really enjoyed it.
A lot of people have been saying it's excellent. A lot of people have been saying that it's not very good. I think it sits right in the middle. It's perfectly average, if not just slightly above average.
Yeah, I also think Henry Cavill was brilliant as The Witcher as well.
Yeah.
Voice especially on point.
The voice is very good, but I feel like sometimes it limits him a little bit because he's focusing so hard at doing the voice properly.
Yeah, maybe.
It kind of clips the range a little bit. But that's just me.
Yeah, no. I can understand. The criticism. Fair. I've been a bit of a Henry Cavill fan just in general because I like that he's a gamer like you and me.
Yeah. Man from Uncle. Very good movie. It's not that he's a bad actor, it's just that he's been in some bad movies.
You can't hold that against him.
Like Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. No, apart from that brilliant Superman movie, didn't you love that? Man of Steel?
Which one?
you a big fan of Man of Steel?
Batman vs. Superman?
Oh,
Dawn of Justice?
One. Did you watch the trailer to Batman vs. Superman?
No.
That was the hugest, most gigantic bait of all time.
I thought you were going to see
oh my goodness.
Biggest turd, and I was going to say, yeah, absolutely.
I don't know whether I should be worried about spoiling it, but I just don't want to spoil anything for anyone, and I think that we got pretty close.
I think if somebody has genuine interest in seeing that movie, then they deserve to have spoilers. Dash out there, as the stuns will come through. Mystic taking a lot of damage, and heal will be forced out from Ben.
Yeah, Ben going to utilize that one as Spirit's going to come in right as Temp decides to dive forward. Shockwave going to be there, and look at all of that damage just mitigated. But the Supreme Despair talent comes down, and the last Q from Spirit is going to pick that one up. And first blood going to the Afreeca Freecs. And so I guess we can pack up and go home, because Afreeca's going to win the game, right?
All right, it's over, yeah. First blood, there you go. Done deal.
All right. So,
thanks for tuning in.
Where'd you keep your jacket?
It's
over
right
in
here.
that corner?
Yeah, I got it right here on the
cool.
desk.
Yeah, all right, cool.
See you guys.
Wait, hang on, it's still going.
Oh. What?
Oh, weird. Let's check out the replay,
okay.
I guess, before we go to cancel the show. Yep, this was Tempt. Unfortunately, the displacement still occurs. And look at that, the supreme display of talent, exactly that, right on the edge of the stun range. And Spirit very comfortably grabs the Q to finish things off. But this is where things are going wrong. I feel like KeSPA has really come alive in the last couple of games. This one, of course, included, because he had a really rough game one, and I thought it was just going to be the KeSPA that we've seen so far this tournament that's been abused by top laner after top laner. But back on the Aatrox yet again for, I believe, the third time, and is making it work into the Ornn. It is a good matchup for KeSPA, but I'm just proud of him for pulling himself together and showing us, you know, why this guy has a world skin. Haru lying in wait.
It's just, and this just feels like what we've been seeing from Haru every time he tries to go for a gank is just sit in a brush for about 8 seconds and go, nah, not here.
Yeah,
We'll be pinching on the Spirit, though.
Yeah, okay. Oh, that was beautiful. And Spirit now, he still has flash, guys. As the Ornn is blown, but maybe didn't even need to be, because Spirit was just playing with the Hanwha Life members as he traipses around his own jungle.
I would say for KeSPA to still be a bit cautious as a lot of damage goes down onto Mystic and Ben here into the bottom lane. Looking for a bit more, and yep, this is where that big harassment duo starts coming to fruition between the Heimerdinger and the Yuumi.
Yeah, Ben actually showing just how well you can utilize the battle dance to help keep your teammate alive as the... oh no, Fly! Fat fingers the cleanse. We've seen so many great cleanses as that's a brilliant repel coming out from Haru, who just knows exactly how to time these things. Another supreme display of talent, but a lot of turret shots being taken, and damn, Temp just nails the spear from downtown as KeSPA teleports for absolutely no reason. But the Grand Starfall flies forward, and Temp gets yet another one stabbed in the metal body of the Orianna, and Keen just walks in to say, whoops, sorry. Yep. Nothing I can really do here.
Just gotta breathe on these minions instead. Very nicely done overall here by Hanwha Life. Yeah, a couple botches there from Fly. Didn't seem like it was gonna cost him much to begin with. It looked like he was going to be able to exit, but with the ult coming out from Tempt, does manage to close the gap, get the lockdown onto that Orianna, and punishes him in the long term. So everything gone now from the Ori, including the Shockwave after the brilliant repel that we'll see in a moment that had come through. So just overall solid, good start here, set up, kind of baiting Fly down the lane, and it looks like this is just going to be a disengage. Then you see the arrival of the Qiyana and think, oh, they can turn this one around. Significant damage does start coming through here on the Tempt. Like, they can finish off that Pantheon. The great Spear Chuck does take down that Qiyana, and from there, it's just a nice concerted effort from the rest of Hanwha Life to close out the kill on to Fly.
Yeah, just Tempt using the ultimate purely for gap close. Able to get on in there, and good old Pantheon still does the lock down a single target and obliterate them thing very comfortably. Second Drake going to be this Infernal, as the Afreeca Freecs do have position around it. Spirit milling about the bottom side of the map will mean that there are more members down here to potentially take that one away. Looks like Shelly might be on the mind of Haru, who will spot this ward at the back of the pit, assuming he is going to go far enough to find it. Big Capital's Ben is going to just wander into this brush, and with Hanwha Life aware of the fact that their jungler, is topside, will not be able to stop him from clearing out that control ward. So a little bit frustrating for the bottom lane of Hanwha Life, but good play to be able to make sure that that one is all right. Keep your eye on the statistics here, much like our good friend LS. I hope he's sleeping now, or at least feeling better. As he likes to say, as he likes to check. 148 on the damage number here, as Spirit is and 150 for the Xayah as we take this one down. 156, 6 AD. That's all right.
Yeah. There'll be Cloud Rift coming through.
It will. And extra movement speed now available in this jungle, and might actually help Spirit out a lot, as he has been really messing with people with the added movement speed already from his Q. Now going to have more options with the Cloud Rift available as well. Ben gets a spray of missiles over the top as Shelly is going to arrive here.
Have fun clearing this one, Keen.
Yeah, well, I mean, Ornn does have a few options, this one being one of them, as he misses the boot back on his ram.
We're getting rid of the minion wave, no problem. Crypt Herald will just be going lower and lower, but majority of the damage going to be dealt to the tower. Now, ticking lower. Do they want to go for this now? The Infernal Chains do not connect.
Yeah, Bellow's Breath pretty good at denying the CC. Doesn't get the shield anymore, but thankfully the Unstoppable is back as the Cocoon goes very wide, and that's an exhaust to come through. Keen waiting for Spirit to get here, maybe a little bit mistimed, but now Keen going to join the chase. World Ender comes down, Spirit goes invisible and leaves.
Second time that we've had some mounting excitement that just kind of falls flat. First tower, however, will go down into the bottom lane. Just Lava and Lehens steadily chipping away at that. Finally do claim it, and the second one is pretty much prepped for Hanwha Life to claim in the top side of the map, so can give them a very nice early gold lead for themselves. I say, not really. Never mind. We're at 15 minutes already. Kind of breezed by.
Yeah, it really has. Time flies when you're having fun again.
Yeah, there's not been that much. Action in this game compared to the first two, and oh boy, man, we've been having so much fun then, given how much time has gone by.
I know. This is what happens. You know, it feels like a breeze.
Good answering turret take,
we're
though.
We're going on like what, 10 hours?
You are.
Yeah, since the start of the show.
I've been here for over 4.
Okay.
So
it's really starting to tick up because it is 2:13. I arrived at 3 p.m. the previous day.
Oh, yeah. Approaching 12 hours.
Yeah, we are approaching 12 hours. But that is 2 hours in lieu of the broadcast.
Sure.
Starting. So, you know.
That's 12 hours of working.
Bad. Yeah.
Plus the breaks.
Yeah.
And the gap in between the two matches. So there is, you know, a good amount of leisure time.
Yeah. But, I mean, if I was given the option of, like, going home and having this not be broadcasted in English, I would not want that. So I'm so totally psyched with how this is going. That being said, on the bottom side of the map, Lava not feeling so good, but I take it all back. He has a pocket Lehens, and that means the Heimerdinger's immortal.
Yep.
That's what a hazmat suit does, by the way. It stops you from dying to, like, basically anything.
Yeah, very good. Keeps himself safe, has the barrier as well to absorb that much extra damage, so he is able to escape with the help of that flash, and as you can see, already ticking up in the HP quite nicely. Still is holding on to the pocket watch as well, so Lava was a lot better off than it had seemed at the start of that.
Yeah, didn't even need to check the time. He was just absolutely sure that he was going to get where he's going at exactly the time he wanted to.
It's one of those points where you don't want to know what time it is, you just know it's late.
All you know is a wizard.
Yeah.
Because a wizard is never late.
Good point.
Proto Baggins. He arrives precisely
what he means to.
And I had to finish the quote. I don't know whether I really needed to, but
it's all right. Ashley's watching from home.
Ashley's
watching from home, but she really
she needed that. Because she's in New Zealand, is that why?
No, she's a huge fan of Lord of the Rings.
Okay, thank goodness.
Because she's in New Zealand.
Yeah. I was like, I feel like you're making some assumptions. Oh my goodness.
No, yeah, she just very much, like myself, enjoys some loader.
And I've spoken to her about
some
it
lost
as well, but I just really like bringing up the fact that she's also from New Zealand.
Can we get a battle for Middle-earth 3? Why isn't that? Out of all of the relatively poor Lord of the Rings games that we've had over the years,
wasn't the MMO pretty good?
It was fine.
I never played it, but I heard decent things.
It was fine for, you know, what you would anticipate a Lord of the Rings MMO to be. It was, you know, I would say maybe better than anticipated.
And what was that other one? The Shadows one, the one where you're like you're a ranger.
Those are good. Those ones are good. But the Shadow of Middle-earth.
I need to actually, play those.
Now that I'm thinking about it, there's actually more good Lord of the Rings games than there are bad ones. But the ones that are bad are just kind of.
And the initial ones, like the first Lord of the Rings games that came out.
Oh, with the movies?
My goodness.
Phenomenal. Can we get a remaster of those? Two Tower and Return of the King remaster? That'd be great.
Oh dear.
I loved playing those on the PS2 and the GameCube.
There was, I don't know, I just found that they were all the same color. Like everything was just that same shade of greeny brown. And I was like, I've just had enough.
But it was the most fun shade of greeny brown.
This isn't
shades of red soon though, admittedly.
Yeah. And a bit of blue. We'll see which one is going to leave the rift first.
I was implying blood, but you're right. There are two teams here.
I mean, maybe there are people that are watching this somehow with it recreated on the Chinese client, where there is no blood.
Possibly.
Yeah, that's something that we could think about. As Tempt, just thinking about the Starfall opportunity. He's standing on vision, though. Afreeca have paid the tax of the Pantheon. But Hanwha have made it pretty dark pretty quickly as I start talking about it. This game is so close, though. It is what happens. I feel like you have stomp, stomp, and then close game, as both of the teams are feeling the pressure. Attack Dissonance from Fly is going to confirm the blue buff does belong to him, and you can see Afreeca utilizing this Cloud Rift effectively to change positions as they make their way through these choke points. Maybe not good enough just yet, as Keen able to soak a lot of damage.
Not who you want to cocoon.
No.
Again, this is very much like we would see in the game just a couple days ago with Jovi getting hooked in by Blitzcranks and whatnot. You don't typically want to grab the Ornn. Temp still cheating up around the wall. They do get a lot of damage dealt onto Keen, so he's going to be channeling that recall. It could be a mild opportunity for the Drake, but given that he's got teleport online, seems like Hanwha Life, making the right decision, assessing that it is a bit too risky to try to start that one up right now, so we'll just go ahead and peel back, but this is going to allow for Afreeca to push up into the enemy jungle again and get that counter vision established so they themselves can try to net the second dragon of the game.
Spirit is so sneaky.
Their second dragon, I should say.
He's being that ward.
Don't do that.
That's a teleport. So, of course, QV couldn't cancel. It's not like he was backing and shopping right in front of 4 people. Grand entrance was a little bit too delayed, though, and Afreeca will pick up their second Drake for this one. Earth, Wind, and Fire once again. Let's groove, everyone. Not September, so couldn't make that reference, but thankfully I have another Earth, Wind, and Fire song to bust out.
I mean, you can say, do you remember the 31st morning of December?
I guess so. And I do. Don't worry. I definitely do remember that one.
See if you still remember it in the morning.
Well, I mean,
after
you sleep. Yeah, I know. It is very confusing. I'm glad that you managed to get the intro perfectly right, as our last game of the morning is precisely what we're in, but it is not going to be the last game of the day. Our next one is, in fact, going to be coming in just under 14 hours or something like that, 15 hours?
Yeah, and unlike us, you know, Cloud Templar and all the other Korean casters are going to have to be back here.
Yeah, they're coming back. I mean, we don't know for sure yet. I mean,
we assume
LS is not feeling super well. That's why he had to leave the broadcast. It's not like he intentionally left me on my own or anything like that. He was suffering considerably from his eye condition, which really threw him through a loop. And so, yeah, hopefully he's going to be on the mend and well and truly back here to commentate tomorrow, because tomorrow is going to be one treat of a day.
Oh, yeah.
With the games that we have available. I was initially, you know, quite envious, but now I'm okay with taking a day off.
Understandable.
For that show. And I'm not taking a day off, actually.
Yeah.
Because I'm here.
Yeah, you are working on this.
Technically 4 days in a row.
You and I had to both work on New Year's Eve.
We did. There we go.
QV in a lot of trouble right now. It would seem he does have the flash available, but here comes the engage.
Yeah, the quickness. Is he going to be quick enough? The answer is no. And he's QV's going to make it out just fine. Ooh, nice grenade.
Very nice stun, the rockets!
Oh, that's a fear flash. That was a fear flash right there, guaranteed. But there was vision over the wall, so theoretically another one of these skill shots could have landed. And the flash not being utilized by Spirit.
Wow, it's just disgusting on this pick.
Alongside Lahens as well, as he stopwatches the ultimate from the Orianna very, very well. The zoomies were almost enough, but now Lahens finds himself by himself. You and me almost able to activate, and now it's Tempt's turn to be taken down by this wrecking crew of the Afreeca Freecs. The Orianna grabs 3 revenge kills and will set herself up for a much better mid-game than what we were anticipating from the Afreeca Freecs mid lane.
Yeah, absolutely huge. Still.
How did I forget Shockwave, by the way, in the middle of that team fight?
Don't worry about it. It's 2 a.m.
disaster.
Huge turnaround here for the Afreeca Freecs, getting that triple kill for Fly. Now going to be starting up with Baron, and there's no way to contest this for Hanwha Life. So big boon for them to keep surging forward. You can see Haru doing what a little spider can, has the next wave catching up, so can continue to push around that bottom side, but with the faster recalls from the Baron buff, it seems like he'll just barely be able to finish this one off. TP going to be coming through. Can he cancel it? Yeah, just keep attacking it.
Actually, he waits for it to come through there, as Mystic now wants to try and kill Haru.
I'd say that was a little bit questionable, but seems like he will be able to roam back, or maybe he was waiting for QV to arrive to try to bait in for a kill. Either way, takes a bit too much damage from Mystic, who's got a lot of crit, but now they're on the hunt.
He had a lot of cloaks, but now the Molten Edge is picked up as well.
Spider is looking for a little birdie snack.
Oh, we can see it. The flash over to Guarantee, as now QV is going to join in. But the Infernal Chains tether's pretty damn good, as Ben Gonna get a double knock up here, and the rest of the team comes through. Two-man shockwave, really nicely done. As the supreme display of talent also did a whole lot of work, and you can see double kill. Now in for Spirit, that Louis Vuitton shining after that one.
Yep. Chasing forward, still trying to close the distance here on Haru. Seems like he very well may be able to do so. The Rebel is going to go up, but he's only got one place to come back down. He's got no HP, so still getting some more blood splattered all over that nice Louis Vuitton gear.
Exactly, and that's what happens when you put a spider on a trampoline, guys. Goes up and then just immediately.
That's going to hurt any potential resale value.
Yeah. That's actually not true. Repel has a really large range of maneuverability, but that was a trampoline maneuver.
Yeah.
Analogies have really taken a turn, I think. Are they the first things to go? Probably not. They are certainly one of them, though. Keen here is going to get a knock-up onto no one, but makes the escape there. The Searing Charge. I believe it's called Searing Charge, but I keep catching myself before I say it, because I think maybe I'm just thinking of Searing Gorge.
Don't look at me.
All right. You know Searing Gorge.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah, at least you know that part of my particular analogy. But, we could also just call it dash with potential knock-up at end. What do you think?
I like that.
Okay, cool. Because if you use that one, just to give you a little bit of a heads up on the Ornn, not only can he upgrade items and make them into cool stuff, as you can see, 3 cool items here. One of them is the really Abyssal Mask and the fiery Sunfiery Cape.
Oh, nice.
Yep, and then the Molten Edge is the actual name of the pretty cool Infinity Edge. The Infinity +1 Edge.
Wow.
So he can make those and divvy them out, 1 per teammate, which is really cool. His Q puts up a little rock, which does AoE damage as it goes out, and then sets up the little rock that can do a little knock-up. And that is that charge that we were talking about that gets knock-ups if it does hit a thing. And you can see, smacking right into Cuvée with his ultimate. That's the R button. That's when the goat comes out, and then he can smack it back in again as it crosses over him. And it causes deaths, much like that one.
Hey Max, do you remember who got first blood?
It was Afreeca. Yeah, we're playing this out like a formality.
Yep.
Having said, Hanwha did make me a little bit nervous as for my prediction.
I mean,
in the mid-game.
It's not over till it's over. So we still have to wait and see how things transpire. But right now, Afreeca have a chokehold on this game. Mid inhibitor going to be taken down, and top lane, the only lane that has not had a turret fall for the side of Hanwha Life. Mid lane still going to be standing here for Afreeca as well, for what it's worth.
Yeah, Afreeca utilizing that Baron buff to great effect. 4 minutes now on the clock until the final Cloud Drake, if Afreeca is able to pick it up, is going to spawn, and Cloud Soul to come in there. Of course, a bit of a reminder, Cloud Soul, my personal favorite, gives you that big movement speed buff if you press your ultimate button. And for Ben, it's really, really cool. The quickness becomes the really quickness. You know? The quickening. Maybe this is actually the quickening. You know how like the majority of us play-by-play casters, when Rakan came out, couldn't help but call it the quickening? Well, now it is actually the quickening. Well, not now. If the final Cloud Drake is taken, we can safely call it the quickening.
Well, we're just 3 minutes and 10 seconds away from that. Baron going to be coming up in a minute and 45, so that's going to be the next objective that Hanwha has to be concerned about. That's why they're starting to move their way up into this jungle position, because they want to get some vision control, but instead it's going to be an engage coming out from Afreeca.
Yeah, that's going to be the supreme display of talent, but the knockup is going to land onto Temp. The Spider once again on that trampoline, and my prediction came true yet again. Spirit gets exhausted, but he's tired. It doesn't seem to matter. Guys, remember, it's 2:30 a.m. Of course he's tired. Exhaust doesn't do anything to the Afreeca jungler. And Afreeca, they lose no one and roll over the top of Hanwha Life 2 for nothing.
They got a significant amount of time right now with Super Creeps moving into the mid lane. We'll rotate up here to the top side to try and support Mystic so they can knock down these turrets and try to find another inhibitor. Death Timer's just not quite long enough. They didn't catch enough members of Hanwha Life to go for the finish. Would have been certainly an overstay and an overstretch. So we'll just go ahead and play it out safe. Get that much more control of this side of the jungle so that they will know if Hanwha Life even so much as thinks of moving into this part of the map to try to get to Baron.
Yeah, let's have a look at this one more time. Spirit just dancing around. He loves to Terra Shape into the grass so that he can just dart around this fight. I feel like he's channeling his old Kha'Zix play, you know, when you just dash around and go invisible a whole lot of times. It's just like he does way more damage and does that anyway. which is pretty cool. But yeah, great fight from them, and the exhaust utilized on Spirit just didn't seem to affect him whatsoever. Still able to do enough damage, and the initial burst was already out there. Level 15 for Keen, looking for another option as far as his Ornn item divvying out is concerned. Might need a Ghost Blade to be picked up by Spirit in order for him to be able to get one. The I believe it's called the Youmuu's Wraith Blade. And I didn't actually read that. My brain just couldn't remember Youmuu's for some reason. But that's part of the original items. Haru flying in way. This is not where he wants to be, though.
Yeah, he doesn't do much damage even onto the enemy support. You can see, just going to go ahead, tune up a couple things.
Building Fly some stuff. That's a pretty cool hat, isn't it? What do you want to call it?
The Mabarabadons.
The Magarabadons?
I said the Mabarabadons.
The Mabarabadons, I like it.
It doesn't mean anything, but it doesn't matter.
No, I like it. I like it a lot. And you don't know that it doesn't mean anything. You just haven't come up with a meaning for it yet.
It's true.
Maybe it is going to be ultra meaningful, and maybe Fly is going to be able to show us exactly why very, very soon. 6,000 gold the lead here for Afreeca, and that's only going to balloon as this Baron is taken. Spirit secures it with a smite without too much necessity. And yeah.
It's going to be a rotate straight down the river. That's a bad time to recall Haru. We'll have to reposition, but they're going to try to push into the jungle, yeah, to get that vision control, so he's going to be shoved away from the Dragon Pit as the Cloud does spawn.
Yep, the Cloud Soul going to be available. I mean, going to have Ben booking it. I can't wait for the quickening.
They actually just cannot fight here.
Nope.
Just no chance of getting close. Cocoon obviously not going to be able to steal over the wall, so would have to go into the pit, and no one else can really do anything. So we'll just be Baron up and sold up. Afreeca Freecs looking to finish the game here.
Yeah, a bit of work to do as far as their minion waves. You can see Fly is now pushing down this bottom lane, but with the massive shove that Tempter was able to get done towards top side of the map, it's going to mean that this wave is going to take a very long time to march its way towards that other inhibitor turret yet to be taken. Afreeca should be able to take this one just fine.
When they pop their ults and they get the boost speed, you should call it the Soul Train.
The Soul Train?
Yeah.
Oh.
They're zooming along.
I like it.
A high-speed train.
Mm-hmm. They are.
All right. Well, the Soul Train, as ult will be coming through. Ornhorn going to be blown, gets the knock up there onto Lava. He will be able to kite back. It's a nice double stun in with that nade. Keep falling low, with the lockdown onto Haru, who will barely go golden time to try and survive. As Temp dives into the back line, trying to find the kills. Combo damage coming through from Cuvee. Nearly takes down Spirit, but it's an answering shot in. Cuvee will fall. A double kill now going to be going over to Fly. They only lose out on one member, finding two against Hanwha. They keep escorting the minions forward, clearing out this inhibitor. Now moving up into the mid lane, but do they just go for the Nexus? Still very much a lot of damage that can be offered up by Lava as he tries to get the stun. Fly going low, has to use Command Protect to try and stay in the fight.
Bellow's Breath was utilized there from Kane to make sure that that grenade didn't get the stuns. And man, that last fight was so damn close. If Afreeca with just 3,000 gold with less items, you know, if there maybe weren't Ornn items on this squad, perhaps things would have gone differently, because the burst damage that Tempt managed to put out after he charged up that shield was just gigantic. And Lehens kept everyone alive for so damn long, locked up for so long. You can see why his Yuumi is so legendary, but sometimes the wallets are just too heavy to overcome.
Yeah, Tempt making a heroic effort, but not quite able to finish off the members that they wanted. If they could have gotten Spirit, would have been a very big boon for them, but they just can't get that Kiana. And Fly just stay alive through all of it here at the end. So 12-4, the record. Just about 8,000 gold in the lead for the Afreeca Freecs as they continue to just push forward and try to close out this game. So dangerously close to having that one swung back into Hanwha's favor a bit, but now move right back forward, looking for the play in the mid.
That's a big flash, and that's a big supreme display of talent onto the Spider. No time to jump on that trampoline at all. No fun allowed. That, yeah, I can understand checking the damage numbers. Big boom is what happens when Spirit presses R. Duskblade of Drakthar as well as the Umbral Glaive, and just a cheeky serrated Dirk as well. Probably building towards the Youmuu's Ghostblade, soon to be Wraithblade. But also soon to be end of the game now, as the final shove is looking to come in here. Very standard composition from the Afreeca Freecs, and now it may have reached its fruition. Knock up possible, is going to find it there on Keen's side as the Starfall gets tempted to the back line yet again. The shield is set up. A fair bit of damage available. He does have the Guardian Angel, but I have a feeling this is a see your death moment. He flashes over to Spirit, but Spirit's used to dancing around these fights, and the 50 gold will go well-deservedly to the 100% win rate jungler for the Afreeca Freecs on New Year's Eve.
At 2:31 in the morning here in Korea, Afreeca Freecs are finally able to close out this 3-game series and advance forward, keeping their hopes alive here in the KeSPA Cup. A rough series, some good moments from both sides, definitely some head scratchers from both teams as well, so a bit of assessment to be done, especially for Afreeca as they get ready to advance here in the KeSPA Cup, and for Hanwha Life as they get ready for their 2020 LCK season. But we've done it, Max. We have survived.
We did it. We made it. And it's, you know, almost time to wake up again.
Yep.
I might need to push my lunch plans back just a little bit. I hope Vedius and Quickshot are okay with
our
that.
Lunch plans.
Yeah, you're going to be there as well. Sometimes I forget. We might need to push our lunch plans back just like a tad, a touch.
It's maybe 8 hours.
Yeah.
Make up for a little bit of lost time. I think we'll be okay. But Spirit does that himself, MVP here of game number 3 to close things out. Just the one death on the Qiyana, and overall, fantastic performance from him. The ultimates very much commanding some of those team fights.
And his way of dancing around the fight as well. A lot of the Qyanas that we've seen in the LCK and in the KeSPA Cup thus far have been Qyanas that utilize burst damage. You know, it's very get in, press all my buttons, then get out again if I can. Whereas Spirit did a lot of dancing around team fights and really manipulating the battlefield and controlling his opposition, which was really beautiful from his Qiyana play. That was a very unfortunate cleanse timing from Fly to start this one off, and a good moment for Hanwha, as you saw Tempt find the Qiyana, who was trying to stay around in the grass, and the Starfall made sure Fly was going to fall down.
Yep. This was when we had a bit of a hope and a dream for Hanwha Life, picking up those early kills. Before Spirit really came online and started wrecking them, and before Keen became pretty much just an unkillable Ornn, as they often do.
I almost got baited into thinking that Lava was going to survive that as well. That's just how confusing Lahenz's Yuumi can be sometimes.
I mean, there was good moments back and forth, but once Afreeca had that lead, there was nothing that Hanwha could do. I feel like Haru could have been a bit more proactive in the early game with the Elise. Didn't really see that come in for them. And Afreeca just, you know, they scaled up a lot better.
This might have been your Ornn buttons lesson, which was a confusing thing to coincide with a team fight, but glad we got to see what Keen was capable of in this moment. And just shows the power that you have with tight corridors like this and underneath the turrets.
Yep.
Not quite Chovy, but definitely still up there on the Ornn performance.
It was a much better performance than the Hecarim.
That's true.
We can say that with 100% certainty.
That is a play-by-play fact right there.
Yeah.
There is no way that you are wrong.
Very fun to see the bot lane duo of the Heimerdinger and the Yuumi come through here, but unfortunately for Hanwha, for Lava and Lahenz, it wasn't enough to get them the victory. You can see just how much damage the Heimer was able to do throughout the duration of the game. Yep. I believe the longest one of the series by about 10 seconds. So all pretty much in keeping
around
with each
30
other.
minutes. Around 30 minutes. And they did certainly feel like they snowballed out of control. Maybe that is a product of just the time of evening that it is, because sometimes, you know, keeping your mental in it when you're losing is more difficult if you're not feeling so fresh. And remember that these guys have been at the venue for a really long time. However, congratulations to the Afreeca Freecs, a 3-game series and able to bounce back despite being on the red side. But here we go. Later on today, in mere hours, Gen G versus the debuting new roster of T1. Of course, you know, the bottom side still very similar in Effort and Teddy and Faker, but Cuz making his T1 debut, as well as Ro8 there towards the top side of the map, and then Damwon going to do the same.
Yep.
Another Worlds squad now up against Dragon X.
If my early morning math is correct, I believe it's 14.5 hours before those matches go live. So
I'll go with it.
Set your alarm. You got a nice enough time to get a very nice solid sleep in before the games go live, because you don't want to miss those series. Those are going to be absolutely phenomenal. Afreeca, the night is over for them, the morning rather, is over for them, but I think that the stress is going to continue because they have some very tough matches ahead. Very well could be playing against King's Dragon X, but that is pretty brutal.
Yeah, so thank you very much, everyone. And if you're one of the people that went home and you were here at the Nexon Arena, once again, we offer you our sincere apologies on behalf of SPO and KeSPA. And there will be a giveaway to try and make up for it at the finals as well, just because, you know, everyone here, we are so incredibly sorry that we had to send people home. It's just really difficult to, you know, have a tournament like this and then have to, you know, make people stay out so incredibly late. It's just sort of irresponsible here, much like my offering of, you know, giving puppies as prizes, which is just absolutely inappropriate.
I did hear that one earlier in the car. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in, for sticking with us. Max, thanks for having me.
Oh, you're thanks for coming to save me, Seth Achilleo's King.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure. Well, it was supposed to be yesterday, but now it's tonight. That was it for me on the KeSPA Cup. Max, LS, and Brendan Valdez will be bringing you the rest of the action, so make sure you guys tune in again 14.5 hours or so. Yeah. Those next matches come up, but it's been a blast being a part of League of Legends again. And until next time, we'll see you.